Okay. By the way, good evening, evening, one. So good evening to everybody. Good afternoon, good morning. But so in the program now, I'll prefer say it should be like, let's say, about 90% in Chi. Then even say opesa blending, like, let's say, like 10% of English. But I'll be an Hello?
Yeah, me preso.
Okay. And also, I'm a Ghana, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mama.
And also, remember a time frame of, let's say, like 3 minutes each for submissions. And then me patch up on, like, no interjections near there. So everybody can express themselves, with the time given. That's a me adding.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. So I think I'll say that now it's like say like we are aware of what's going on currently. The youth know their current trend of talking down on our leaders, like disrespecting them, the insults and all that. I think let's start from the political class. The political class now. Let's start from there. Then later on, then we'll come to the informal. So, what is like everybody's view on that? Do you think it's something that is worth commending? Because the average Ghanaian youth is now standing up and being bold and vocal. And now you see it as a disrespect and something that doesn't have to be commended. And so let's start with Mr. Asante, Ghana.
Okay. Me chache ni anu nyina. Oni ara da wase se wa masa akwanya we ya beda. Okay, asem na wo no it goes deeper than
Pacho say only floor ne so am. Pacho betimi am mute o mic no na ebia o background we understand obi submission one. Thank you. Ghana Bam Pacho.
Okay. Asem na you say no that board I can ho asem no. Probably no it goes deeper than what we think. Na normally na yempani for ya omoka asem bi say okoto say nipa mienu kontokwa maybe some say dey asem na asi na emom no bisa omo say enra no den na siye say yi atenidie we na ekoso no enye ene na ehase na emom no eye ade bi esi emiri bi a atwam na enkwara no so asua na ebia ye koya nimu a ye betimi apensempensemu eye me famu die no ni ameka no ni titru no ejina 1979 until 1979 no na sa atenidie we na ye ka no se yedidi mpanimfo atemu ne ayi no na eni ho se wo hokura mpo na ye ka esie a emma abonten sa na adenti na meka 1979 no ye ba benya leader bia say he stormed the political scene. He was very young and he was a crowd puller. He was very well articulated. Say meka ina meka Omampani Rollins utu soldier ban and there was so at time. Say ye hwe period no say ye kosa period na ye hwe Omampani ebre awo ba so me no na I was very young, around 17 18, and I was a student by then. Say ye hwe ekwan na ofa so a okasa de ne nsa apimpim table so na wodidi nkrofo atem ebobọ nkrofo asum na won wedi na chi ne so won mo eye na empanimfo anu won mo wo sa time no e kan say sa ade na ye mampani no sa time no oye no e de ohaw ebeba oman no so dache na me na make say me ye Kristo ni pa se wo ko Bible mu no a eye Hosea o kan say me ba to obi anhwe ne background no ne background ni ye no mute no odifo Hosea ka asem bi se odifo Hosea ka asem bi se udua ahumu a udua mframa utu ahum entena sa period no nia ehya ase a ye mampani no ebeye ya na enam se na nkrofo ehwe no oman bia na ye hwe opani na odi anim no na yesua no entena one factor no eye ho and another factor so eye the new social media aba obi atimi ekasa na otimi di telephone esi na nim se na ye anwumre yetimi ahyiehie mu a yedi nkomofa ye maaye ho eno so eka ho bi entina me de ma no besi ase obi betimi ato aso a akire ye kwa anim na yetimi apensempensem ye medamas.
Okay. Mr. Quartin, Pacho betimi ato aso me.
You with me church and you know me church tea for so.
You're right.
Na akwanya we so that was say what is the madie we pa aba san say hu hia yi pa ye man na ko no say no em say ye nti no ma bi ase me mum de no kure ni nyame ni mu ni didi atemi de mi hu sa de we no enche pi because sebe me nyini pi nanso so de yesi beto ye na o kasa kire panimu a panimu o nyese bia papa na o ma me nko ana ye o su panimu just say buo ni die me kai se tama me say ye wo me takrade me asantini die nanso me tete ne bia no me fa free takrade makese ke rewu focus e ho ne ye wo me enti no that time no baby a wonam bia na wo te why boni ana say panimu bia so wo ma me so ana papa
Pacho mute mo we no why? Mute mo side na.
Panimu bia panimu bi tia wo ana say ne wo ye ne nye na tia wo a o papa na o ma me ba be so kra na o mo ne pokro mo ni chefe o bona bato na wase atia wa kan wo so dey na say dey ase yehu say eno ma na aye bibibi san say social media ya ba ma obi a gina ba bia na otoma ne ana ase nkɔfo ho ɛho tɛ wɔ mo a to the sense panimu ɛnni sika de akyɛ sɛ wɔamɔbra so ho te sɛ saa na akɔyɛ nkɔla no fa ne sɛ wɔn de wɔn bɔ bra ho nanso ne nni kɔpɛn ka saa ɛyi wei ɛyɛ dɛ ɛba ne saa na yɛkeka kɔ no sɛ ɛyɛ agye nsɛmu kakra nti no na me deɛ mɛka ne sɛ ayi wei deɛ ɛbrɛ kakra yi na mahu sɛ sɛdeɛ nam sasante ka no Bible say bread query ye na wobɛhu sɛ asoɔden kwalaa bɛyɛ dɛ bɛsɔre ɛte agya no mu ne bibisa ɛna ɛkeka kɔn deɛ ano ɔden dodo menua
Okay. Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Jiraj. Thank you. Our platform is here. This is the first time I participated in such program. Though my time no, I was between 18 and 19. My first former na me too quite. And up to now I'm over 60. Islam wa control. What is going on in Ghana actually no. My experience be for the first hand information. My experience be, but first time my experience be was on social media. Trini Jonas. I know mama who say Ghana youth you to me didn't pay for them. And my time not parents, they taught us how to respect elders. Now that time so no transport system be a friend no omnibus service. Me sure say Brashanti obehu sa service because it's almost my age or above 60. Obehu. Now wuti ufa omnibus service wuti mo penimba na wasare na the fit na manu. Now we schoolboy and now young boy what's your age name? But this time you need omnibus so intimi won say public transport and san here no. And the parents, they taught us how to respect because of their knowledge and wealth and experience in life. It's they pass on to their children. And to me, say, my respect, and my brothers behind me and my sisters, your respect. But this time, me sure say parents, need enough time, they be training in how to respect because, neighbor or school or maybe or water cladia or school or Tamale or Accra. Of Itaklad of Takladi or school or Accra. Into Adebia and Ebaniano, parents are not there to train or to guide the child or be a proper training. And behavior system, parents they don't know. Akwadanuma kwina obesia or behaving normal. Parenting in name of what the child did at school. To wait now, no, maybe blame parents, in the school system. How always say, majority of the school, secondary schools, anybody in school. Remember 2 girls in Nano, your secondary school, a university. But area bia with Tibiano, a hot and over secondary school. Until won't travel from one district to another on secondary school. The time beyond when you were Obano, whereby that system is not practiced in Ghana. In Ghana, our system is contributing to disrespectful attitude in Korano, Ayen or mine. And this time social media about ever increasing disrespectful attitude with society. Into ono and I met me I can but later and as on the course of discussion may contribute to more.
Okay, thank you. Amagana. Hello, Amagana. Amagana, unmute yourself. Okay, Yanko, Madam Angie.
Yes.
Yeah, Bacho, what do you have to say concerning Ghana youth, the recent trend, especially on social media, attendee, a whole lot of disrespect on both the political and the traditional leaders. But now let's focus on the political leaders. No, like, do you see it as something worrying, or you see it as the youth now standing up and being vocal about, whatever is going on in the country that they are not okay with? Or how do you see it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hi to everyone. Okay. Meka kakraka Mr. Wilson and Mr. Santi de no. If the society is not doing well, you have no any right to come out and insult for. So what I say? Omo ba bonte on bekasa no me hu sa akwala bia wo. Tuni Jonas wonya akwala. Ena ba ku bi no so wo your friend is kra. Ono so wo Europe ho baby. Em so wo Germany me kind ni din ye. Ono so nya akwala omo ye mpanyimfo omo nyinyi. Enti they know what they are doing. Me for say ye wo Ghana na ye raise ye no. Untimi nkwa abontin kodidi obi atem. Onipa no kro be discipline wansan na ode wa be fie na wo parents assign discipline in front of that person. Enti no ema yesua bibi free mu. Na ya san tu kwan na ya besua enwema bi afiri mu. Na Mr. Wilson kan bibi say first no, excuse me, obetimi otena ka mu na opanyin ba. E wasa won sori ma opanyin ne ntena se. And say it was any etete wo. You can also do the same thing. I remember saying na me ba panyin no 7 years. And I call store bi mu. Na store no na e was say umbie door no. We are na waka atum. Enti wo me wure mu na wono oba no na ohun say maame panyin bi ba obroni panyin bi ba. Enti e hwa na ono ejina nchen na obie door no ma maame ne betwe mu ebesen ye. Enti ye trans na maame ne ka say the way matete akra yi de we de na back in the days na yehu sa de ni bi. Say what you say. Eye training na ye de maame wo fie na me de tete me ma. Enti eye hardly say me ba begina ba bi so obedidi obi atam. Because me ndidi atam ofie ha. E na wo didi atam so a enya ade a wo ho beto wo befa wo ho adi. Say what you say. Enti no me for say na Mr. Wilson ka no training na yenya wo fie. Obi o hon so a ye mfa nhye parents no. Parents ni betimi training ne say o training ne ba ne bia enso onfa. Say what you say. So for them to come out now on begina social media use bad words e won panyimfo so no. To be honest with you, enye na enye nhira. Unya de a obenyi ache. So what I say, because I believe say ye na ye call Sunday school, ye chre ye how I mpanimfo kasa. Society na ye free mono. So wo maame cry ye wrong, you cannot stand in front of your mother. Now one can't wo maame say we wrong. So what I say, there be ye de ani die e ma ye mpanimfo. So what I say, e wo mu say ye ba abrochire ni abehu say I know my right. But ye fra abrochiro ya ntete ye abrochire ye tete ye ofie. Enti na se ye ko adwuma mu abrofo no they feel more comfortable with Ghanaians. So what I say because the way you humble yourself, the way nya say bia ye jimi o ye nimunyansa but sane ye tete ye no ye hu se ba bia be ko bia no se wo bra wo ho ase a e de asumdwe eye den eba enu bi na Nigerians no pese o mo kire say ye jimi no but ye de na ye good. So what I say enti no me for say eye wo mo ankasa e na omo mbu ade e na omo timi ba abonten be didi mpanyimfo atem. So what I say ekro na da ho no ye nyina de ekọ no ye mpe Basa who say wo kan say ma kire papa na odi kan di na tem after papa obe feel. On fa wo kra nka ne ma ho bio. Say what you say. Until we should learn how to talk, especially when we come in public. Send your mobile na social media. Now use words be I just don't want to use my mouth to say those words no. So Enti no me for say adibuo na omumbu. Enye say omususua. Enye say wo anya training wo fie. Parents need training yen because if you Jonas mo age na omo ye na ye de na ye pe. So what you say? Enti no me hu the reason why that time I wo omo na training ni ho. Enti sisi na omo wo a training be na omo de be ma omo ma no. So what you say? Enti they should stop doing what they're doing on social media, insulting elders, insulting our leaders. Even Oman Kasa parents cry omo didi omatem, which is very bad. And we are also in Shrebi and Enti me for say it's not good. Say a yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Amagana.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
No, I don't. I'll try
Okay.
my
Yeah.
best.
However you can express yourself.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's very true. Say.
Amagana.
Yeah. Can you hear me? What's it mean? Do you hear
Yeah,
me?
it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Rash was saying something. Yeah. I just feel say disrespect no adore. In fact, those two at first no PA, but I do know that they were very raw and disrespectful. I also believe that there has to be space for people to be able to voice their opinions respectfully. And I think because that space is not there, no, but I'm not excusing these two. Almost two, no, they're almost extreme. And Kevin Taylor, they kind of go over the top. But I believe say there has to be baby incorporate to me without every time I kasa, they'll say they use the excuse say so there has to be space. Obi here bibia. You have to be able to say this and this and this, no, and and you and accept it, and yet to the extreme, say freedom of speech or whatever. We have to get our own kind of thing that suits our culture. And then I think the second thing that is also coming up, let's say, schools no say almost disciplining kwadebio. The teachers have no right. Apparently, it's very weird because ube all kinds of things. You dare not speak back, but apparently your sister rules to say they cannot. That's why recently, unfortunately, one of them, I don't know whether you heard about it, the teenagers yes, teachers were just standing there because they couldn't involve themselves. I think it's become too extreme. There has to be some form of discipline. There has to, so that there'll be respect. But I think that, and then social media is also part of it because you can just say whatever. So I think those are the three things for me.
I think that Rush the or problem or one.
I think so. We freeze it.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe the next person. He was going rotation, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the next person.
I'm saying, and then Mr. Fante, the Robert Castle was I'm saying one of freezy. Mr. Fante, what
Opani Peter on Kasayo. Pani Peter and Kasa into Kasa we are now fair. Be a bit dumitana. Why?
Okay, Intimin Kasana.
Yeah, obet me akasa na am say rush e wo problem kakra.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, network issue saying. Mr. Peter and Patrick also.
Okay, Mama Jo, I'm Munaju. I mean, the crow, so be a castle or so can your views here over paper. First of all, Rollins in Moshi, yes, say, and I say, the air cost on your Rollins will be and free of a Rollins. That's the way I see it. Secondly, a modern time, okay, Rollins time set for a free horn. So you for Didi Abayano. Who political corruption be a coso, I bomb minor. Politicians be a very stubborn. Okay, I won't and if you want to criticize examples, I'm able to do it. And to generation a woman, any social media, no, when we see abundance of political corruption, it makes people annoying to say things that they are not supposed to say. Basically, I'm not excusing John Jonas or Henry David. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not excusing these two people. But political corruption and destruction of a nation leads to huge anger for people to say what sometimes others might think they are not supposed to say. It's annoying. This kind of thing. Politicians look at me and then go for deal matter because let me give one example. There was a time one political leader was boarding an aircraft, a cost to the nation, huge amount of fortune. People were complaining, hey, this kind of politician did it over and over and over again. And they continue to destroy the nation. You can cite an example about this billions of waste money of nation's coffers, of this so-called Catholic burden. When you do things like this, while youth are suffering, the nation is falling apart, people are likely to insult it. And I'm not excusing it, but it's human nature. So it's political corruption. If they stop it, reasonable people will not insult them. Thirdly, modern time social media give them the apparatus to do what they are doing. For example, last 2 weeks I was in the class doing something here in England, and even white people were complaining about the mentality of the modern, the youth, the disrespect. So it's worldwide, not only Ghana. So I'm appealing to politicians to stop the political corruption and use the money belonging to the nation to develop the nation and find jobs for the youth. Again, I'm not excusing those who go to the extremes, but political corruption, which we didn't have in our time, is prevailing at this time, and people are, others will be annoyed to express their anger through that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And one question I also like to ask. This goes to everybody, though. But we will start from Mr. Kwatin. Back then, now the youth of Ghana didn't know how to even insult elders, let alone leaders governing the country, and even chiefs and paramount chiefs. Don't you think somehow the youth are not to be blamed, but rather the leaders? Because, for example, like some of the example Mr. Peter cited, you see these politicians like misusing public funds, and the youth keep begging and begging and begging. Even though it's their mandate, the youth has to beg and all that. Like, don't you think all these things now, it is going to trigger something in the youth for the youth to one day rebel, like how it has?
I'm sorry, the question will be Sano. Be say na when a program account me ya no dia. I'm say na rush kana etisa question will be Sano. And penifo no edwumadi a omudie ne sebe edu ba bi aya na ya asefem kakra. Sanso no ma bi o wa nka wosanka tuto na akwa mu sere mpempi ya tutu kwan ye hu no ma wa ha sei. But the normal work Ghana na otumi say yɛwɔ akyire bebree nanso wohwɛ nneɛma a wɔn wɔ kurowe mu a wɔn ntu gold wɔn nyɛ kookoo wɔn nyɛ sa nneɛma natural resources wɔn ebi wɔ bi a few percentage bi na wɔn wɔ but tumi di nneɛma no gugu akwa mu yie ma nneɛma ma sɛbi obi a wɔnyɛ adwuma koraa no ne ho henha no nti no abere biara no wɔn nam hɔ a wɔn ani gye wɔn ho wɔn ni di atɛm sɛdeɛ yɛkyerɛ no na mmom nso ɔkɔ baabi no nso yɛnhwɛ biribi yɛn no so timamufoɔ no so yɛso yɛka ho bi for example sɛ nea ɛkɔ so wɔ galamsey die a ama atɛmdidie bebrebe asɔre wɔ ahemfo ne mpanimfoɔ so yi wɔn a wɔgyina mmara mu tu ade no yɛ timamufoɔ no bi a ankorankorafoɔ yi a na wɔn so aka wɔn ho abɔ mu a wɔn so yɛyɛ nneɛma bi so wɔ kuro no mu a yɛn na yɛyɛ wɔ kuro no no ɛfɛ bebree yɛde sobɔ no so bɔ yɛn bi yɛn adwene sɛ yɛso yɛ mpɛ sɛ yɛbɛdi mmara no so na ma nneɛma ayɛ dɛ nti sɛ aban no yɛ n'afa mu deɛ timamuni no so yɛ n'afa mu deɛ na ahemfo so yɛ wɔn afa mu deɛ a nka mbuni nsɛ nka yie nka bɛyɛ ɛsan sɛ ahasɛ no yɛwɔ ɔkɔn ɔkasa yɛkasa president ɔtini ni ade na ebi wɔ ha ebi wɔ Europe ne na kekan nanso wɔn de nneɛma gugu akwa mu ho nti nipa no ɔkasa a ɔkɔ no ne kwan so ɔde mmara so abata ho deɛ di saa adwuma no banyɛ deɛ ne deɛ ɛnte saa ɛm sɛ me deɛ yi bi sɛnde o let's bi a wɔn publish no 31st of July this year DW so yɛhwɛ mu paa de Africa paa deɛ yɛdi mpanimfoɔ atɛm yɛdi leaders ayɛ South Africa, Nigeria ana Ghana yɛn saa kuro mu anyway so ɛnyɛ sɛ sɛbi obi yɛwɔ bɛ sɛ obi fum dwa obi fu ɛkwan sɛ ma interpret misinterpret so obi fum ekum a obi fum dwa sɛ so any kwan sɛ so obi ayɛ mistake anaasɛ ya kɔbro the elastic limit any kwan sɛ ɛyɛ na akɔyɛ sɛbi nkurasisɛm kakra yɛmfa no kwan so na yɛmma nneɛma no ɛnyɛ kamakama na kuro no nyinaa yɛnya asomdue wɔ kuro no I think that Russia saying have the same problem. No, so we'll be back to us.
Okay. Okay. I will not exonerate our leaders from corruption. Because excuse me to say, the feature mayo ana womo ewo online no ni nyina so ka ho bi na womo say nipa emu womo nana Dr. Wilson can say be for boarding school ni ade nkwara na boarding school. I think say this boarding system has been in the system over a century now. Schools like to say they are Achimota and Parental college ne infancy pemonom ni ade no. They are almost about 200 years. Even these schools, even instill discipline in the children, in the students. So these schools, now, niameme can say make us say and the root cause, yes, our revolution time, I will continue saying this, and I always say it. Time we are rolling the bus, we know what happened. Say before, say maybe I worked at Liver Brothers for some years and Sana. Me to kwine about Europe 88. Now, this PWDC was a PND, how do you call it, Workers Defense Committee, and PDC was then. I know what we did to our leaders. As a can be you will even be surprised. I know what we did to our leaders. Say, Sanema we na maswa. when you do that now, you create the space, you know, for people to learn what to do the next time. So, and you know, so what creative opportunity say, well, ubetimi actual manager na wa brono, ubehwe ni akos chichire a ma or fishing harbor. I grew up in Taman, saying I say minimum you see what ma. Ubehwe ni chichire ma ewo fishing harbor na ya be rom ho ne abro mo ne ya. What are you telling the children? What are you teaching the children? Ohene Solomon kan asem bi o Bible mu say o say tete akwara no ekwan a won fa so na wuwi a o ye na onyi a wanfi ho. So and you know if you statistics crumple chere say if you train a child in a hostile environment he will learn to fight. So and this animal way no the root cause no e ho enefi. Before then no we had NUCs, National Union of Ghana Students. One more any time, one more demonstration, anything. But I was even at Liberty House for students who be demonstration, university students be demonstration or so just an issue two. I was around that time. I was going to school that morning. Wow. And in the avenues to address some of these things, you know, they are there. And now, second, you semester say kasa mama maya more sa nipa na ya bobo omudin no. Mama maya more omudin wa ha. We know what is happening or we know what they are doing. But mestre say maya more omudin. Me and single one out because in your monkwan no more yes ade no. One more Ghana no so no. Some of them are doing it. And you know, say sa nema we no yanhwe ase anhwe baby a root ni fia. You say when you know your history, then you know where you are going, where you stand, and then the way forward. Say yanhwe sa nema we no na say yantu ase a ebekoso akoso. Boarding schools, you know, they instill discipline in us. One problem so no say no ko school no mu Ghana schools no yentia nkwara ni biom because ewunim na don sakoka obi ba. Parents, you know, will come there and then even slap you. I've witnessed some of these things before. Say, my hubi, I be a see or me chrome area. Mother, I go school simply because ya born a bunch only teacher and also say even Quran say teacher numpo a day or year and 1 year, it does not give you the parent, you know, the chance to go there to fight the teacher. When you do that now, what are you telling your child? Say, okay, my mother is there, my father is there. Next time, if this teacher say punishes me, my parents will come and fight for me. And then no open no yeah. Teacher no sabi no onko ka. Ena ochine bi no na juma ba be bono and I say yabani aba be bro no ewo krom. Nti no be din. And so what happens? Baby amrani no what reigns is lawlessness. And you know sana me so metimi aka. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson. Yeah, Pacho, on need to. Pacho, don't you think that? Pacho, Temengan. Share this issue very critically. Are the youth to be blamed or the leaders instead?
This is a critical topic to discuss lengthily. Sister Angie concluded the statement as I'll say it is not good. It is not good for the youth to insult elders. That's what Sister Angie concluded. Meno may say, charity begins at home. What can be done begins at home. And to ye blaming politicians, so ye blaming Nkodano, we should blame the parents. For example, may cite one example. It happens last year or last 2 years. 2 Achimota students, brothers, that in their brothers, they were Rasta brothers, Rasta. they went to school. Achimota, Meka Webe Senior, Isaac, Ashanti Kayan. Two brothers, they were rastas. Your core school, no. The school administration sacked them. The parents went there and took the case to court. And the court gave them the authority to maintain that rasta. So in this case, those teachers and administrators, different say, rasta or say channel. Sometimes they will gain upper hands on the teachers and the administrators because their parents are defending them. And if the parents are defending you, you have the power to do whatever you want. Onunama disrespect about society anymore. Beside that, the notion that the youth do not respect elders has completely the notion that the youth do not respect elders has completely vanished in Ghanaian society. 90% of the population, youth, they don't respect elders, and I will always blame it on the parents. About political issue now, Brother Peter, I mentioned said there are some politicians that they are misusing public funds. That is political greediness, and yes, sir, because of Nkwadano and respecting Tina, their misuse. They went to power with the aim of amassing wealth here and there. That got nothing to do with disrespect, because this mismanagement of public funds is one thing, and youth disrespecting elders is another. We should not mix the two as one and discuss it here. The topic Mr. Rush put it on the platform was youth disrespecting elders. There was nothing like public politicians mismanaging our funds. So we should take that topic different time and discuss it. If we make the two, that means we are mingling water and oil, which the oil will always come on the top.
Yeah,
so I suggest we leave politicians aside in this topic and we talk only about the youth. The politicians are amassing wealth individually. They are amassing wealth here and there. That is public mismanagement. That deals with management. It's not about disrespect.
One thing too is, to everything there is cause and effect. So, say, yes, say, Bibian Papa, NG training. So, even though we are talking about this issue, like, in the first place, where did it start from? What was the root cause of the problem? And then, like, youth, me, at the camera is seen so ADD political leaders at them near them, and not politicians at them, because, like you said, they came to amass wealth, and the youth are seeing the point blank say, you came purposely to amass wealth. You didn't come to develop the country. You didn't come to put any positive impact in the youth. You didn't come for the betterment of the country. So should the youth still keep quiet in the name of respect or training to stay aloof, watch the leaders misuse the money just because they are elders, or just like the recent happenings in Kenya? The youth had to break the law to fight for their right. That is to them, in quote, to fight for their right. And everybody was like 90% of Ghanaians were calling for the same thing to happen in Ghana. And with such thing for such thing to happen, you will have to disrespect the law. You will have to break the law. And it will take anger for the youth to get to that level, and to even get to the level of putting camera in front of them, disrespecting the elders and all that. So It's like we can't talk about one and leave one out. I hope you understand me.
Yeah.
Partially, I do, but that actually doesn't give a full classification of the topic you posted on the platform. Because, for example, if you watch a cowboy film, if you watch a cowboy, I pay a ticket, I go to the cinema, I watch a cowboy film, and I see a lot of shootings. I come home, I will not take a gun and go after my parents and shoot them, or go after other people to shoot them. You see, what someone is doing, we need to address it separately. But the parents are not giving proper education to their children. This is what we should talk about. But a politician, those days, many years ago, early politicians, they also amassed wealth. Even the time of Kwame Nkrumah, this Krobodise also took some money. I learned that Nkrumah gave a huge amount of money to one of his ministers to go and give it to Fatima's uncle. That is this. I forgot his name is gone. When I remember, I will mention it. The man ran away with the money, so they were amassing wealth themselves. Only Nkrumah himself made no money, but the ministers, they were also making money. Just like that Ewe man who was a finance minister at that time, he also amassed wealth. I've forgotten most of their names, but I read it at school. Krobodise made money. This man, that man later formed and now a political party. Ewe man formed a political party. He also amassed wealth. When Nkrumah saw that Nkrumah was a deputy finance minister, but the man made a lot of money secretly.
Okay.
I forgot his name. Oh.
So
So,
with all these instances,
it has been part of a political job. It has been part of political job to make money. But that doesn't mean that we should go after them and insult them. Politicians, if you are not a good criminal, you cannot be a good politician. All politicians are criminals. All politicians. I don't single one or two, all of them. But that means anytime they steal, people will go about insulting people, and even as far as insulting someone who is not a thief. You see, so this is a very diligent case topic that we should not mix the two. What happened in Kenya is a vandalism. They vandalize the nation. Let's see. If we are politicians, they have to make petitions over petitions to save the situation. But vandalizing is a kind. What they did, they could put all of them into prison. You see, when your parents give you bad training at home, that doesn't mean that you go after someone who steals money. Okay, why don't you go after those bank robbers and insult them? But they go after politicians. If you steal money from the bank, the money there is for some people. And if you go to commercial bank, the commercial bank is for Ghana. If you steal money from there, why don't you go after them and steal and insult them, but rather go to politicians?
Okay.
You see?
Angela.
Yes.
From what Mr. Wilson is, is putting across, then it seems like if politicians, like it's normal for politicians to behave like this, then we shouldn't, from my understanding.
No, what Mr. Wilson is saying, um, I mean, it's not the politicians, right? Before, I mean, for people to come out and insult our elders, It is not right. But like you said, so bibi ankoka papa ebede na aje tredo so dan no. Our leaders, they are also not helping at all. You see, I mean, I understand. Sometimes I understand Ghanaians and the youth, come out and talk, It's like the frustrations and the bad bunting, yes, sir. But other way around, it shouldn't be that way. So, the kind of say you're paying for no, they should do the right thing for the youth. Say, oh, mammy, do university, ube Enka wo maame expect sɛ ne ba no benya adwuma na ɔno nso de abɛhwɛ ne maame. But yɛnhwɛ Ghana adwuma bɛn ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ. The youth are struggling very, very hard to get, a job to do. And I say, ɔmo bɛtry paa ansa na ebi koraa wobɛwie school no koraa ebi koraa wo maame na ɔhwɛ ɔmo a wokɔ university no ɔno na ɛwɔ sɛ ɔnsan so adeɛ wɔ n'apampam. Ɔnkɔtɔn no ɔmfa bɛyɛ aduane ma wo ndi. Sɛ wɔho na papa panimu anaa maame panimu na ɔte fie na wa frustrate onhu nea wɔnyɛ. Sɛ wate aseɛ. Nti adɛn nti na politicians no ɔmo ba a sɛnea ɔmo ka kyerɛ yɛn no because there's no way sɛ ɔmo nnim yɛ problems a yɛfesi ɛwɔ kuro no mu. They know all. Nti na ɔmo ba a ɔmo sɛ yɛbɛyɛ sei, yɛbɛyɛ wei ama mo, yɛbɛyɛ wei. Nti adɛn nti ɛna ɔmo ba a ɔmo ntumi focused sɛ ɛyɛ de adwuma bɛba kuro no mu ama youth anya bi ayɛ. Hwɛ te sɛ ame na ɔkasa yi. Public toilet koraa yɛnni bi wɔ kuro no mu. And people at this 21st century, nkurɔfoɔ dwonso ɛwɔ abɔnten. But nkurɔfoɔ wei nyinaa nso tu kwan ba aburokyire hu sɛ aburokyire yɛn dwonso wɔ abɔnten. Sɛ wate aseɛ. Ɛkwan nyɛ da biara accident nipa ewuwu. Sɛ wate aseɛ. And then ɔmo ba kurom ha ɔmo hu sɛ road da so. Yɛde ne tena kaa mu na yɛde ne kɔ a n'ani gye. So adɛn nti ɛna ɔmo ntumi nyɛ saa nneɛma no bi wɔ Ghana ɛma yɛn. Ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛnni sika. Yɛn nananom gya yɛ resources ɛwɔ kuro no mu. So ɛna ɔmo ne ɔmo manom ɛkyɛ sika no na ɔmo di. Ɛna kuro no ɔmo agya ne saa na kuro no yɛ basaa. Sɛ enti sɛ wohwɛ saa nneɛma wei nyinaa deɛ a bra woba abɛgyina abɔnten ɛneɛ ebi koraa a wobɛka neɛ kyɛn nkurɔfoɔ de yi a yɛka yi. But yɛma respect ɛnyɛ adwuma. Na kurom ha sei no, aha sei wonhu sɛ akwalaa abɛgyina abɔnten edi politicians bi atam because why? Mmara no yɛ adwuma. Sɛ metena hanom sisi sɛ mekɔ adwuma mu na obi bule me na mefeel sɛ mempa a mefa me pen ne me paper na makyerɛ. Mede kɔ office. Sɛ wɔse yɛyi nipa no adi na metena adwuma no ma me ho tɔ me a, yɛbɛyi nipa no adi. Ɛwɔ sɛ yɛkasa kyerɛ no na sɛ ogyae nea wɔreyɛ no na yɛn nyinaa yɛnya yɛ peace of mind ɛde tena adwuma mu hɔ a ɛno nso ɔmo bɛyɛ. And the same thing is going on when it comes to like politicians and all that no. Yɛwɔ baabi a wode wo letter bɛkɔ. Ɛbɛyɛ adwuma. Yɛse no one is above the law. Ɛyɛ adwuma wɔ kurom ha. So wate aseɛ. Baa adɛn nti na yɛdeɛ ne deɛ ɛntumi nyɛ adwuma. Ɛne mpanimfoɔ yi nyinaa nso wohwɛ nso a majority no ɔmo kɔ aburokyire ɔmo akɔkɔ schools ɔmo kita PhD mo ne adeɛ o. Sɛ wate aseɛ. Enti edu baabi a wotena ase na wodwen ho a you don't understand. Wonya definite answer biara mfa mma wankasa wo ho. Sɛ wate aseɛ. Enti ɛwɔ sɛ mpanyimfoɔ no ɔmo yɛ wɔn nnwuma yie na ɔmo boa ɛma youth ɛnya adwuma ɛne ekuro no emu ɛyɛ kama ma obiara ɔpɛ sɛ ɔntena kuro no mu. Because me I believe sɛ saa nneɛma wei nyinaa kɔ so a ɛyɛ hardly sɛ akwalaa ɛyɛ adwuma a obenya kwan koraa bɛtena social media sɛ okodi obi atɛm. Sɛ wate aseɛ. Enti other way yɛn mpanyimfoɔ no are not doing right things for our country. Ɛna youth no so they are not doing right thing. Nti no youth no deɛ ɔmo nya abɔkyerɛ ne atamdidie no na yɛmfa nyansa kwan a yɛne yɛn mpanyimfoɔ no bɛkasa. So wate aseɛ. Ɛwɔ mu sɛ obiara social media obiara bɛkasa. Ba Ghana no moma yɛnhwɛ kwan a yɛbɛfa so a baabi a yɛde yɛn nyansasɛm fa a ɛbɛboa yɛn. Because they've been insulting them for a long time. And so they are doing the same thing. That means it's not helping. Insult is not helping. It's finding ways and means yɛbɛtumi de asɛm afa hɔ na ɛbɛboa yɛn ma yɛn mpanyimfoɔ ne bɛte yɛn ka sɛ deɛ ɔmo yɛ no it's not helping us, we don't like that. Nti they should change na ɔmo nyɛ ne ehia ma youth no wɔ ekuro no mu sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a obiara ho bɛtɔ no because me feel sɛ ɛkɔm ɛɛya sɛ wate ase and sɛ wonte kuro no mu a you won't understand abrokyire yɛbɛtumi koraa ma wo credit card wobɛtumi de akɔdi dwa na wode bɛyɛ aduane ama wo family wo paycheck back bi wɔ koraa yɛtumi ma wo 1 month ansa na yɛde wo bill abrɛ wo yɛde abrɛ wo ɛde koraa yɛte 50 anaa 30 sɛ wate aseɛ wo na wo sika na aso betua ne mmɔ a na watua but we don't have all these things in Ghana and universities are people are struggling so wɔn ba wɔkɔ school no yɛagye ne sika nti ade nti na owie school no ntumi nyɛ adwuma na ɔnyɛ sɛ wate aseɛ nti yɛn mpanimfoɔ no nso ɛka ho ɛna ama wɔn frustrate ɛna obi wɔ hɔ a wɔntumi hold ne temper na wabɛtena abɔnten na odidi wɔn atam but me for sɛ atemdie ne deɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtwam na yɛpɛ kwan a yɛbɛyɛ dɛn yɛbɛfa so a yɛne wɔn bɛkasa anaa baabi a yɛbɛfa a yɛbɛkɔ a sɛ ne court bi na wɔ sɛ yɛfrɛfrɛ wɔn a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛstarte na yɛyɛ saa deɛ no wɔn ani ba wɔn ho so na yɛnka nkyerɛ wɔn sɛ yɛmpɛ sɛ yɛbɛdi wɔn atam bio yɛpɛ sɛ yɛrespect wɔn ase yɛ papa nom nti wɔn nso nyɛ wɔn adwuma a ɛwɔ so wɔn yɛ ɛma asomdwie ɛmmra kuro no mu saa na mɛka rush.
Okay. Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter.
Hello.
Yeah. Pacho, what do you have to contribute to the topic at hand?
Okay,
do you think that the leaders are also to be blamed that now it's the youth that are problematic?
Look, the woman say, yeah, time, again. So because Rollins and Massa say leaders and but basically kaka crazy. Some reno near Yankola, Rollins bar 17, I'm 16 years. Or bar again, another 3 years, now I'm 19 years. Yes, anybody in Obika and you age group and you from youth. Our deep politicians not them. So, and you know, and yeah, American because those youths no, and yeah, age group. All the politicians not them, they are not Rolling Star because the Rolling Star money I can say we are not mainly the people insulting the politicians. For me, I still blame the politicians because those times, no social media anymore. Look, let me tell you one thing. You can say the youth I say yeah, it is not true. The only difference is that there was no social media. Ashtown were very bad boys. I'm telling you. Near my teachers, Dean. It will maybe crabby teachers, I'm telling you. But the difference was that we didn't have politicians, military rule. So they were not mismanaging the economy in the way they are way more. The difference was that there was a military regime. Though we were not insulting elders or senior people openly, I can assure you that in Kolabone, those times in Yana and Yene, the only difference was that there was no social media. Now, freedom of speech, any democracy, I'm a politician, I'm mismanaging economy, and I'm a youth, yes, if those times we had politicians who were mismanaging the economy, people would have insulted them. I'm telling you, we're not afraid of anybody. We're not good boys, we're bad boys. When they talk about Emma, Jamamoni idea, some of us, we started chasing at the age of 9 and 10 years. I'm telling you, we started sleeping with girls at the age of 9, 10 years, in those age group. And media, and Ukrainian American, those times, that is it. And yeah, youth now say, democracy need openness, any social media, that is the difference. In those times, we're bad boys. I'm telling you, we're not good boys. So politicians should stop the corruption and mismanaging the affairs of the nation. And the boss will stop insulting them. Third point, when we talk that bureaucrats can say Ghana funny, Nigeria funny, let him tell you the difference. Those French people, when they insult, we don't hear because of the language. Secondly, French is like dictatorship. Still, France control them. Not that they are good people. the language and the system that they are in. That's why we don't hear from them. So it's the same politicians who are to be blamed. They should stop the corruption and the mismanagement, and nobody will insult them. That's all I know. Thank you.
All right. Amagana.
Yes.
Yeah, can you please come in here for me? So what do you also think? Is it the fault of the youth, or you think the leaders are also a contributing factor to what's going on?
I blame the leaders, because when we quote scripture or we are spiritual, it says, "Do not antagonize the children." Or I'm paraphrasing. Before So let's just they got away with it in the past because there was no social media, the respect was there. But when people see that there's no accountability, that you can get away with whatever you do, that is how revolutions happen. Like, we can't pussyfoot about the truth of the matter. When there's no accountability, that you can take 58 million and dig a hole and there's no one and you can get away with it, so people should stay silent. When are we going to get real and get serious?
Hello, Amagana. Hello? It seems Amagana is having some network issues and all that. Okay, so let me jump to the next. If Amagana comes back, I'll give her the opportunity to continue. So how come all of a sudden, like, a handful, and so Abe can't the whole thing, because the handful are not, our taxes are not going to the chiefs and quite to develop the country and all that. How come all of a sudden, as a handful are now taking shots here and there, and it's like it has become a normal trend, which is even likely to cause some tribal war and all that. I know definitely tribal war can happen, but like it can cause something huge between tribes and all that, which is of a national security issue. So Amagana, thank you for coming back.
Yes.
So you can conclude and add this one to it. So
okay. I didn't hear the tribal war part. Could you repeat that before? You said
I was saying, how come we know our taxes doesn't go to the chiefs, our paramount chiefs and all that? So for the youth to now be including the chiefs and all that in the insults.
Okay.
How did they, so where from all that,
Yeah.
So if you conclude what you were saying before and then add this to it.
So again, for example, and I want to use the example of UK going through about 4 prime ministers within 4 months or some ridiculous, because there's accountability. You don't perform, you leave. You don't stay. So if people are seeing, say, you pay the price. For example, during COVID, Boris, whatever, with his hair all over the place. Boris Johnson, I think his name is. He had a COVID. He had a COVID party. He was terminated. If people are seeing, say, at least, and I'm not saying it's perfect in Europe or USA, they have their issues, but at least there's some systematic accountability. But as for us, just say you can do whatever and get away and they'll tell you to stay mute. That is impossible. And that is why the frustrations are rising up. So if we are really a Christian nation as we claim to be, then the Bible also commands us that do not antagonize the children or the youth so that they will respect you. So it's reciprocal and we just have to accept it. We cannot get away with doing whatever and looting. We have to call them out. And I'm not saying insult, but you have we have to give the youth space. We have to have the space to speak our mind. The frustration is the level they get to, then it gets overboard. So we have to kind of, because that's not our culture. So it's kind of a shock to our system. You know, that's not our culture to insult. But the situation is so hot, say, when you are squeezed, and then you start seeing that it works for outsiders, then you start picking up those tendencies. Although it's not our culture to disrespect elders, social media has made it it's a global, we are all connected some way. So if we don't want that to happen, then things are in place that will reject that kind of attitude and behavior. I think with the kingship and whatever, I think Ghanaians are thinking, they have power. The constitution does not really give them power, but because we see them on thrones and they speak, and when they tell people not to play music for a month, we listen. So I think Ghanaians are kind of like, if you can say all these things, if someone dies, they tell you not to come out and everyone stays home. So if these things you can say it, how come when our waters are turning brown like Milo or tepid tea, why can't we say something? So I think it's the understanding, say, almost need to meet, sir, the 2 minutes with our president and legislative and judicial. So I think that's where, and I don't think we really talk about that in school. We just see, our paramount chiefs do this. But I think it's because when they say something, we listen. So if we do, Argentina, you are seeing something going wrong, you don't speak. And if you have a misconception like that, it will tend to insult, because you are like, you can speak and we stay home, we don't play music, there's no party when they say it should be silent. So how come you can't discipline? So I think that's where it is for me. I don't think there'll be tribal war per se, because Ghanaians are kind of too intermarried, and you go into this family, you see Krobo, you see Adan, you see every. So that one there to be hard, because you'll be fighting your own brother or sister. So thank God that we are united like that, to the point say it will be very, 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 very difficult, and we pray that it never happens. So that's what I'll say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Kwatin. Okay, Mr. Wilson, you, yeah.
Yes, Raj. This goes directly to Brother Peter. Brother Peter, I'll suggest, I'll say politicians are to be blamed because of stealing here and there. Okay. In the UK, whether the politicians steal or not, whether the monarchy, whether they steal or not, it doesn't come to public. But every Sunday, when you go to High Park Corner, you see the youth insulting them, insulting politicians, insulting the monarchy. I was there many years ago. And every Sunday I go and stand there and enjoy the insult. You see, but it's because politicians were stealing here and there. That's why they receive insult, or it's because the royal family were stealing here and there. That's why they were receiving insult, Mr. Peter.
Okay, Mr. Kwatin, you can please continue. Yeah. So the issue of I am funny, like, we wait me attach on, am I?
Yeah, meka bibi kakra wa na kitua bi mfanto so. Na ne ehunu so no se ama nkola no edi atem bebrebe ni nyina. Politicians na omo kogina platform so a na omo yi omo rally, omo yi omo campaigns na eno so omo di atem pa mpanimfo no na ye se akora sua akora sua no odi na choose ka ne se me yeah feel beno
the odi achire sua the odi kanantie the odi achire sua the odi kanantie
very good no odi achire sua no odi kanantie so enti mo papa panimu na wo no so udi oman anim no okuna platform kakraka ni ko begbegu ase na wo gina ho na wo di wo yonko politician ana say year atemu a because self person gain power so na almost what picking from na angle no almost the other. It's gradually no eja so and yet kraka na so free kiti na abeka kraka so enti no ekwan na omo no efa so mo training kwala na ma omo abeyen eno na eso so na eba omo so Now, if I want into an inquiring for the no, I am for the air almost I am for attending say, and also you know, see a politicians, yeah. It's not say, politician be who is say, ebi a ne nkurɔfoɔ no ɔhene ne nkurɔfoɔ wɔ no ɛnyɛ hɔ na ɔno no ne vote wɔ nti na waba na efere or attack ɛfɛn sɛ yɛn no yɛbu yɛ traditional leaders no nti no he will first attack the lead the queens and as a chiefs no so ho nti wɔn na politicians na wɔn na ɛkɔ so saa problem wɔ nyinaa ho wɔn influence ɛma wɔn yɛ dɛ wɔn push wɔn kyerɛ sɛ ekuro no na sɛ city na wɔhene ne di so no ne nkurɔfoɔ ne side bi a ɛna yɛmfa gya nto hɔ na wɔnyɛ dɛ nti ɛyɛ adeɛ bi a adan mpanimfoɔ sɛbe mesrɛ meka sɛ ebi gyina platform so na ɔkasa a me a menkɔ school nkɔ akyiri kora na ayɛ a mehu saa sɛ adwene no ada bi so nti meka kasa mo a mo abobɔbɔ eyi kind of say PhD ni na kika ho nyina na mo gyina platform so na mo kasa sabi asɛ efientete akwa so wɔ mo anya nka ho nti ya na ahomete nti wɔ mo de media politician na me de me nyina be ma wɔ mo na ma nko plan fa so mo di adwuma ana wɔ mo so internet no.
Okay, Meka to us, Dr. Wilson, may you are no kakra. UK Hani America, no. Obi aka to say any politicians na tema e omoboa. Difference in say politicians there's accountability. So they do their work. Now Africa no Ghana e come the woman. Enti e come the woman na wo didi nkwase asem wote V8 na wo kan kwase asem. I dey any watem. You be do watem. UK I catch up say you are stupid. I'm telling you. America, you catch you see Republicans here stupid. They tell them, the difference is that there's accountability in these countries. So that the masses don't go hungry. And they have a challenge. They have to stop the corruption and deceiving people. That's the only thing that can stop it. And not just money there. You free a time, but the system was different. There was no social democracy to express your. There was no social media to express your views, to invite them. I am for ready, and lastly, I am for be the politics and akuma or my do or matem. And so now they have to take responsibility. I am for ready, a politician, political interest, and a black party, and I may do or matem. I don't blame them too much. So I don't blame them too much. But about politics, man, a party is being a canny Ghana for Yanamabontia, most speak the same language. There can't be any war between social media and Udim Kofatem. David Jones, the only about them for me, for Monkas and Grand Count. It was it.
Okay. Mr. Santi. Hello, Ganaba. Pacho on mute.
Me commute until me press it by being a me face. Well, and we are no more kasa na Miss Meka kakra asoso. That man, you go school now. I have a very good friend of mine, or Tiakra Newtown. Now, Otaka can say me or say if you corner a fowl, it will fly over you one day. So, and yes, you to make us say yampani for can say opening one way, and I or share a day chakuto. Opening one in a share chakuto, but of Peter on after that.
Yes, I said, I can tell several James.
Yes, opening one way on share chakuto. So, but with all this, they should not give youth to insult the elders. But I dear Bako see who say one. Ghana for Nankasane, yepe ahwa. Say even so panibi or say or your hene so ye mampani, na or ye adea enye frana. Ubeheno, not ye one too much. This shouldn't be the case. This shouldn't be the case. Say obi eya bonia empanim for na no to be able to tell the person say Sadia papa we uye ana leader we uye ana ohene uye nana uye. Enye enkrofone one hono should be able to tell them. But ye nam sa ahwa type of abeye part of our culture no. Yentimi nka. And ade ba kon so yesi ehunu say see no Ghana see no senia yet no. The moral fabric of our country is broken down. I know that we have to accept it. And we all need a soul searching effort, attitude on the part of all, whether you are part of the ruling class or the rude class or part of the elderly or even the youth. So I see who said by the we must call spade a spade. We must call a halt to what is happening. What is happening is too much. It's too much. We can't go on like this. So we can't go on like this. Now, let's come back to Yampanim for ya. Quite recently, time voter lake, overflow, be a gate in the back, In fact, a flood some voter region towns in Ibiniade. Here is the case that we have a whole head of state who goes there, and then he tells the people, you people, you don't vote for me. If it's because of this thing, I shouldn't be there. You being the leader of the country, the father of the country, you just go there and then you put a wedge between who votes for you and who doesn't vote for you. So if you being the leader, if you don't act as a father to everybody, then you actually create that, that loophole for people to also insult you. So if I say, US morning, make I said hurricane a year, one of these states CB, say me refi ni Obama time and it happened, Obama went there and they were even blaming him for not acting so quick. So on team can say okay, side the honor Chris Christie and a governor at that time, he ref in the state, only a Republican state. But he went there, he helped them without even bringing that division. But when you as a leader and you come forward to say, oh, you guys, you don't vote for me. And he said the same thing to the Westerners too, when one of the Western Queen mothers also went to see him. It's not good. We don't have to be saying this. So, and when it comes to him for no it look as if say him for no one way or the other there are certain things that one year it will sumu asia a daddy emma emranti wana na say emranti ne mabawa no so one mu say they come to us and say but you being the custodian of our culture, why should you be engaged in such things? So the youth of today, let's say, and social media near year abano, they get certain information very quick, unlike our times now. That's our opportunity, anyone. So, and after we have certain radio stations like CNN, soap operas, other TV stations that are also making inroads into our culture. Some of these things, I think that the leaders will have to look into it and then stop some of them. Because I remember when I was growing up, near sure Sofodazi, any play no more. And they say, you say, excuse me to say, or baby enufuntem kura guhokrana. The following day, you see newspapers, everybody will be complaining. Now, what do we see on our television screens? All sort of lewd attitudes and bad behavior going on, and nobody is saying anything. And so, what do you want the children? What do you want the youth to say? What do you want them to tell? They will grow up, pick up some of these things, and they will think say it's normal because in America, when you go to America, it is normal. This is what they say. It's a bit nonsense. So we have our culture. Our culture is unique, and we should protect it. The fact that you live in America, you live in Europe, or this thing, doesn't mean say you should import everything from A to Z to Ghana. We have our culture, and we need to protect our culture. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Angie.
Yeah, Rash, I'm here.
Yeah. Then I walk afa ahemfo no
Yeah, yeah, here for no so almost so can home because I want to make country say power na ya de ama wo no. Ya de ma almost say omo nkotena ho na omo tutuntuma so keke. So what I say. Enti no ye ma region say we your hene wa ha. You also have a responsibility. So what I say. An accountability. Enti no omo nyina so eka ho. So me for say Oti, me say wo bro half a region. Na say enyama cost wo ho na enya, wo ye ohene wo ho. And then obia so ubie wano a, enam say ye de power na sha won santi no. Nia wo beka bia no, obia betie. Enti say wo say enyama bi cost wo area na enya. Me for say you have every right to talk about it or speak out. Oh, ɛna nneɛma a ɛkɔ so wɔ regions ne nyinaa ɛnyɛ no ahemfo ne nyinaa nso mefo sɛ they are not united sɛ ɔmo ɛka ɔmo ti bom a they can have a meeting sɛ bi a yɛhu sɛ nneɛma bi kɔ so wɔ Ashanti region ɛmmoa Ghana nti ɛnnɛ yɛse ahemfo nyinaa yɛkɔ meeting ɔmo betumi asolve saa problem no diplomatical way sɛ wate aseɛ but wɔn no ɛyɛ me sɛ unity ni ɔmo ntam tribalistic na da bia no tribalism na yɛka no ebi no enti Ashanti region for says adeɛ no eni Ashanti region a ɛmfa ne ho ɛwɔ kwawu enti kwawu deɛ hɔ sɛe a ɛnyɛ n'asɛm saa so na ɛbron hafo region so for sɛ ɔyɛ enti no wɔn ankasa no ɔdɔ ni wɔn ntam ɛno na ama saa nneɛma wɔ nyinaa ɛɛba but again the youth no have no any right to insult them. Say me my grandmother na raising me. Enti ambra me di 10, 11 no na me kasa. Then people would think say me more than me age because I humbled myself. And my grandmother etete me. So what I say. Enti no me ni right to be say me di opinion atem and me nana ma me te ase say wo go di opinion atem a yes na nyankopon de ma no nuru ho obetimi ewu obi betimi akeso obi betimi ayo nyema bebre enti no when you are doing all this things and you have to think about your own self too so what I say ebi ane se sisi a sister bi ba bonten obekasa basa ene obun kotodwe ekra mpanimfo ne se omuntie so ho spirit bi wo mo ebetimi ahante wo ebetimi abre wase ebetimi ama wawu so what I say enti no e was youth no Omotimi learn some common sense. Enkwa abontin kodidi obi atem. Sisi ano de platform yi menim se mpanyimfo wo so. Ye ni say na ye educate ourselves. And I was say ehunu kwan a ye befa so a ye mpanimfo no. Ye betimi ene wo mo akasa. Anasa nneema bi nkodi a yankasa ye de letter beko. I was say starting ye saa de no from now. Anya saa ye de atemdidie be mo mafo mo ho adi. Ama your resources no much edi. So what I say? Because atemdidie no ye did it for long time, but still I do mo ya no mo ye. Enti me for say was say ye de kasade na ye hwe kwan a ye befa so a ye ne ye benya some intimate bi friend bi anase bibi cordial relationship bi ba yentem a yenso ye voice out a they will listen to our voices na o ma eden o ma come to our aid so we hu enti ahemfo no almost ka ho na na ekoso na ekoso president si so na say o ya ade na nya ahemfo 16 regions nti o mu ntimi mfrɛ wo mo na omo ne omo ntena se no omo nkasa se no baby a mo di kro ne kon direction no enye sa na tie se what ya se enti se wo yo ohene na wo ho na wo for se wo de wo ntimi voice out there ene ada na wo prince ma ya di wo si so se bra ba ye wo hene se what ya se
boy, other platforms.
enti president for se ministers ne ye no ahemfo no so ebi ano omo ye se what ya se enti na so my permission say ye metena bonten na ye medidi mpanimfo atem and use bad words and from na womo esa na ye nso no ya anya ade se wo ho
Okay.
enti me say ye mfa kwan bi so a Titi ano yanso yanu bedru omo ho. Ekwan be na ebefa so. As you say, yanso are citizens. We have every right to speak out. We have every right to voice out when things are going wrong. Nti kwan be na sisi a ebefa so. Yanso your voice bedru ho. Ye try letter omo be so. Na omo de aye edwuma. So what you say? Se bia na omo bi na enu ho no mo a. Yanso ye betimi a remind omo. So omo but me feel say anya insult. Okwaje ade e wo papa ho na wo koye. Sisi a me hwehwe bibia free Mr. Asante ho. Minim say Mr. Asante de betimi aboa me pa. Me friend na nura me nsa anka no. 2 days wa tell me to me. The third time na ma fa phone na didi na temagu so. Ofo say me nsa beka. Me nsa anka. Na emom no say bipa wa hyeda na me de kasa de oh Mr. Asante me friend o me nsa anka o. Me pa che unya kwan afre me bia say ni say. Obo say kasa de na me ka chere na ti no. So I na dwen say on boa me kra. Obeboa me. So what I say?
That is the truth. There are some people, politics, yes, there are some politicians who are stubborn. When you talk to them, they won't mind you. That is the truth.
Atem no de na kase wo po aso say eni di wo matem na di wo matem aboa. Afi kwa na things getting worse.
But the fact is,
Mr. Peter Pacho, Madam Angian Sina from Ono Meba so na.
Your friend is saying they were all finalize on your money, dear. Say, oh, my didi atem they are right. Though you're right, oh baby, but they are not right. So deep when you for them, sir. Sabi now will be a better used to not or catch us something bad word. And yet, so papa no na me and yes, sir. It is no. Mama, solution I ever first one. They bet to me, I baby, ama ye castle momoya. Mmoa no ebetimi aba no na wose ye hwehwe saa ye friend say kwan a wose ye fa so because atam ne de ene me no me ni ebetra ha di atam at the end of the day emfa hwe mbrɛ omo no ma yo ma dwen say ye resources no mu use fa ti wo ye ohene na say wotena ho na baabi a wo no ye too good ensuo nyina say omo a ye preg omo amonyem wo ye friend say disabled for so what you say na say wuntimi nsɔre nka hwe a ɛne ɛsɛ yɛ ma yɛ ho sɛ yɛ by 30 years a ekuro no nyinaa bɛyɛ disabled because nsuo a yɛtu wɔ kurom hɔ nsuo no nyinaa sɛe so what you say nti ɛwɔ sɛ ahemfo no so no yɛntimi nka sɛ ɔmo isolate themselves every politicians no ɔmo nyinaa yɛ baako so what you say because me asante hene president bi a de no bɛsi so ɔkɔ hɔ yɛ a yɛhwɛ tv yɛhu nti no so ɔkɔ no otu ne fode a ade na bibi sɛ wɔ no ne kurom a onhu na ɔmo enye den solve that problem no diplomatical way makro no yɛn nyinaa yɛ ho ntɔyɛn nti ahemfo no so ka ho ɔmo ne ministers ne president ne whatever no they are all one nti ɛwɔ sɛ yɛn as a citizens no yɛn ne ɛwɔ sɛ yɛfa nyansa kwan bi a yɛn so yɛbɛtake wɔ ma kyerɛ ɔmo sɛ no yɛpamakyɛ baabi a mode kuro ne kɔ no ɛmmoa yɛn so what aseɛ ɛna yɛ resources no enye ɔmo nko ade a yɛ nananom na de besi hɔ ɛna yɛ nananom no so na enye fie baako mu na nana ne fi so ate ase yɛ nananom nyinaa na ka bɔ mu ɛna ɔmo yɛ kuro ne si hɔ enti sɛ yɛse yɛ de insult bɛbɛma ma ɔmo afa ɔmo ho adidi a yɛ na yɛ brɛ enti ɛwɔ sɛ yɛfa kwan bi so a yɛn so no resources na bɛboa the whole country so ate ase aha
Enti Mr. Peter
yo rush menkasi eni wo matem say yet ni di wo matem the nation is 30 million plus and group bia ne the omo ye and we can control that so they mention but the air can say abufuo ne yakom no any mismanagement no any deception no by all means who be a part of the repercussions. That's what they are saying. I'm not saying that the whole nation should insult them. So we are playing diplomacy. We shall do it. But I'm just, facing up to the fact. Say you cannot accuse. I mean, you can't blame all of them. Those people, all of the people insulting the politicians. I'm not saying we should always insult them, but mismanagement, deception, any akushisem mudino. Okay, I am for the rush. And he said, "Boy, be a miserable platform. Your friend or." Me refiniding I'm so tired for boys. Or say I am for no. Recently there were things happening security wise. Security matters be I never say I am for needing sorry or by him for needing anything. There was a time if Ghanaians have to travel maybe from Accra to Takrady or Kumasi, Police have to escort them with arms. Because of Nigerian armed robbers, they suspected to be on the road. And the boy and the politicians say, if the politicians are not doing the right thing, why can't the chiefs and the kings do something about it? And the answer he gave was that because the politicians have corrupted these chiefs, traditional leaders of course, VA, and so on and so forth. Such as and no maybe I have not a committee some also politicians, no, because he have corrupted them materially, like giving them V8, you know. And so the guy was blaming the chiefs and the kings. And if he has evidence, if that is true, then yes, you have to take responsibility. You see what I mean? So that's how it is. And if here, those who fight for free, here, those who are doing the insult, they are doing it. I'm not saying that they are good yet, but there's nothing we can do. And those who are playing diplomacy, we have to play the diplomacy. So on the American is a it was that time, and then we have come so far. There was no democracy when I was in Ghana. So if there's no freedom of speech and there's military rule, you can't expect, and there's no social media, you can't expect people to insult those who abuse their power. That doesn't mean they were good. That doesn't mean they were good, because those times there were no democracy, there was no social media, and there was they had all those kind of things. But now it is there. You can handle it's also here. You better do attempt, but they do the right thing. If you have to resign, you have to resign. They said that now Obi Kase, Ghana Kase, within a period of 3 months, we have to change 3 prime ministers. That is accountability. What do we see in Ghana? People are destroying the country and they are still in power. So what can we do? Parliament will, the legislature will pass a law and the president has to sign. He said, I'm not going to sign. Is that a rule of law? You see? So that is it. So I'm not saying that everybody should insult them, but those who are insulting them, they have the reason. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Rex, can I make me a bem kakra? Okay.
And Pacha, no quick now. Don't call Mr. Wilson.
And money answer we are not maka.
Okay. Mr. Wilson. Yeah, Pacho, we meet you. Pacho, we meet you.
Me say, the youth now are in for a terminal. The problem is they are doing that out of pain, and because
exactly.
I am for no, Onana must say, Asasi Organa, because you turn Asasi Mag Galamse for. Galamse for saying so no. See, boys who say then out of anger they start insulting them, and I find they are greedy. So I have greediness. Can you be able to? Asasi mo be say, "Am I with him no?" But asasi mo say, "Monjina mon say no." But so we training Sister Angie on my comment was saying about on any about people shopping mall. Attitude on the bank show here no. Brodini my comment was so we training akwadani here. No matter how it is, and you have to obey the because a well-trained child is like a well-trained dog or behave nicely. I mean, insult will not solve problems. And so from the time I started to see politicians at them, but still, the situation is still the same. The may support Sister Angie say, I ever find a solution. You better reach it to the politicians in Namuja. Though, and there you were Ministry of Chieftaincy. Those petition to the Minister of Chieftaincy probably will solve the problem. We can send petition to the Parliament House. They can solve the problem. But insulting here and there, I don't think it's a good idea. And a well-trained child will not insult someone who is at fault. We train up for that year. We have to be insulted, and will be a 10, 15, 20 years difference. So, see, to say, when you train a child in a good environment, a well-trained child, he will desist from insulting elders. And the father or Kono Kuriadia about the father obey insulting the father na. And first, the father a politician, and I'm one mass welter. That but same boy no, he will not insult the father And so be for the year they are not the win sort no. We need to train the children to desist from insulting elders. But politicians there is part of their career. They will continue to see here and there, no matter how you insult them. And today they say, I suppose it's Angie. We find a means to reach them with petition so that they will, if not stop, they will minimize this mismanagement. This is my contribution.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
agree with you. Yes. I agree with you.
Thank you very much. At this point, let's move to what was it? Madam Angina Opesoka baby. From there, jumping to a whole different topic.
Na me can be said this year no. Yeah, who say yeah penny for no almost big time. So ana ne krone conference hu ye. Enti sisi na wasa citizens no. Ya sorry ne ya mo hu se kro no yanso ya ka hu bi. So awasa ya sorry ne ya mo hu se de krone kono yanso ya ne nye hu. Enti se ne yanso ye betumi aye no. Ana se ebe ma wo mani aba wo mo ho so a eno na wase ye because me to insult somebody na kwade it is a problem na da so da ho so enti no yan plan bibi a e betimi agina ya na so ne enso se ye be na protest bi no ye bebem onipa no oba ba ye de ni besi so pe wase ye de yen stem koma no so for se ontimi nya enye by force mo ma won tra ne baby na ni obetimi aye no omra woba so obesan ama ye hu se ade na ye de abre no wobetena so no wo responsibility to be a wobeteki enya se wobetena so na wodi sika na ko ne fie fo no makwa ko use sika no enti awasa ye citizens ye ma ye ne bre ne mo mo sensan no ma bi so ati ase ye changing no ma bi emo mo sensan ya do si so na say 1 year 2 years ye hu improvement bia e was a matter wo fa obe o free ho kona ya hwehwe obi obetimi aba ba ye sa de na maye enti se ma ye ni amre na ya nkasa ya mfa mre bi so anche ye nsem kakra ene da bia ya be insult wo mo ono insult ni titi ano emfa wo mo ho wo ma ye se udi o matemo when ni o matemo emfa no ho ono okono akofa sika no de ko kra yeti ma no checks and balances wunti bi mpo so wo si sika sem esen na ekono sika na bi wo ho ana bi ni ho eno ane se nipa ne betena so a ono na o control bibia se what I say this is I was here story na ya so ye get na community me chiro bibi mo mo sensan yeah.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ghana ba. Ever since year of 14, we like a whole lot of African Americans, even people from the Caribbean, like everybody relocating, even from Europe, the blacks and all that, especially. What would you still support that that initiative? And what do you think are the pros and cons, like the advantages, disadvantages,
Well, me personally, there. Say if you want a positive answer from me now, you are not going to get it. Because me personally, right from the time 1 more year that how do you call it? The year of return was the year of return. I've been talking against this thing. Because look here, Ghana for your culture. We have a unique culture. And it hurts me. Say me ankasano me na under my own eyes, I see the moral fabric of Ghana under attack. Now, this year of return one more a year, Let's say now background here, be muting Kakrama. Now let's look at it this way. Almost a few of them now have brought investment and that kind of thing.
Mr. Peter,
Okay.
when I
Yeah.
Okay, let's say a few of them now have brought investment here and there, but the majority of them no are on the internet actually dragging the name of Ghana in the mud. Those who thought say when they come to Ghana no, they will see America in Ghana or UK in Ghana now. Now they are all over on the internet and saying say Ghanaians are scammers. They came there, they bought land, and before they realized the land was sold to another person, blah 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 blah, which is not good. It's actually damaging the name of our country, and it hurts me. And a second one, so this so-called how do you call it, a dirty December, where they look. These people come from the slums in the how do you call it, Detroit, Chicago, how do you call it, Texas and other areas. I've stayed in the US before. I was in Texas for 6 months. My wife also stayed in Chicago for 2 years. I know that these people are from Akata for Konbania. Womo we also cocaine also then womo and Chicago streets are or police they will shoot them outright. Now Ghana is a heaven for them. They come there and they do whatever they want to do. If we don't take care, the Biamekasa we say young Ghana for no say I'm sorry. Now minor Ghana will become the Thailand of Africa, where people will come for sexual tourism. I've been saying this and I'll continue to say it. Say per se bibi na eboa. Let's promote our culture. Ahemfo no edu sa time no a omonye bibi to say the month of African culture now, national culture of us and that kind of thing. I think they have done it before. Even Nigeria also did it some years ago. That was in 79 or 81. No. It was in the late 70s. I was very young. So, and when the chiefs, the Minister for Culture, Arts and Tourism, and as a national tourist board, they should take over this thing, this festival they call the Dirty December, and then turn it into a way where those people who are coming in will come and learn from us. Not that they will come and then spoil our children, the youth for us. Oko internet so enema awomo ba awomo ye no ahohwibra na awomo bo. I did not grow up like this, and I did not train my daughters to be like this. Now ebe me ya say ebi am wo fase for and say say me nana no more ebi they will go to Ghana no, will go and face these things, which is wrong. You're wrong. We have to do something about it. It's wrong. We can't allow our culture to be eroded like this. Ghana has a very unique culture. Just a one number biana. We can even look at our kente cloth. Kente has become the symbol of black power. It's all over the place and it's welcome. I didn't say any trahona yisuya adieni fi ubi ho. Onumpo oba ye krumwe. Onipa na woba no ono no oba besua bibi afio. I stayed so many years in Italy. When you go to Italy now, some catch say, look, we are Italians. Either you take it, if you want to stay here, you do what we do, or you leave the country. Italian for no, when you sit at table with them, they eat pasta, they drink wine, they how do you call it? They take bread with it. They speak their language. And so if you are not prepared to learn the language, you leave. When these people come to our country now, if they are not prepared to learn our culture and integrate in our culture, why should we allow them to stay there? Now, let's come to this so-called Igbo king. I don't call him a king because he's not my king and he's no king in Ghana. But let's give him this title for now. This man is there trying to promote Igbo culture in Ghana. We don't even have an Igbo tribe in Ghana. Why should we allow this person to spread his wings so far and wide? What are our leaders doing? Oh, and sometimes you see this man actually promoting his own culture, which is foreign to us, and then you allow him to do it. And say you obviously they will insult you, which is wrong. They don't even have to insult you for that. So, but when you see such things now come out, and then you tell the man, hey, look, we live in our country. When you come here and you want to live, integrate in our culture, or you leave. So this man also a Ghanaian news, and then he cannot even speak one Ghanaian language. Or Kantankani TV shows a bibisa Ghanaian bisa or teach you now. What's no or one language, or one or two and not. Why should you come to my home and then you come and then create?
I also found that very weird, because say if you've been able to sit in a country for over 26 years and still don't understand the language,
it means that he doesn't respect you. He does not respect you.
Ready
so yes, he's not ready to actually take you, say, be part of you. He wants to encroach. He's coming to encroach on you and then overpower you. And this man should not be allowed to spread his wings. Now he is appointing chiefs in all the regions. Why? Why should we allow this man to go on doing this? It's an insult to us and even insult to our chiefs. You say it. Well, I'll stop here. No, will be breaker.
Yeah, Mr. Peter.
Offer Peter, want me to unmute yourself?
Okay, say okay, say okay. Hello, Motimenka.
Yeah, I think
Tonka.
Okay, you be damasi. Me tea ya of return, no. Me tea ya of return na ehame. Because me feel say America for slaves there, you better say omo call here no. Ya fa omo anko kwampa, so they don't have African country be omo free so. Now if we are welcoming them enya bad. Meanwhile no, I'm say omo planning here. Nipa na planning at this omo mra no. Nti nsam bebre. First of all, Osaka Osha nipa at least Osha Mumbai Tiaba University and you'll be also Timba Ghana. If they had decided to come in their numbers, overpopulation, cost of living, Bibia Boyadin, Assassin Boyadin, Umberto Ghana and Sassina, Omusaka Hamisa Lata for, but Ghana is safe for us. Yentima will be free outside. And my cost of living and too high. And some to try and assassin come. I'm planning here. Edim Boni Bebre. We were one doctor be our free Cape Coast. Or America platforms because of this. Or can send Bebre. Say America for them mobile America Ghana Bebre and moi. Bebre Honoma, I've been pen crowd. More cost of living. Ghana environment rent is a brochure house, a secret to a dime Bebre. Ghana no and Tisa, there were so many disadvantages. And to me, I found my business, I'm planning here. There was so much hassle. It's a look at it in Bonia Bray. There was a few people somewhere. I developed money, investment, Kakran was a key here. Now come planning here. Yes, I officially and call a fro. Tim said, meet me, I can I him from the others. Said, how can I be any weakness be a while? They say he was so called Igbo saying because of corruption. Oh, now, Sikadiano, I can't be a deal matter. I'm not saying they should insult them, but we are no, say, oh, we are norms be a honor. One year adopt to now who can be do at him. So ti ase nipa bia no position bia wo bia no. Se no be si ama ho kwan kofi ne nipa be fa so adi stop it. I for no be corrupt. E bia na ibo kin. Motimo mam obi firi no mam say me king. Ye ma musika na wato asase no start as na hemfo abesi so. Sabi o yanka se mo jimi. Na you funu mu say ma kwan we are they going to respect you? No. They met me account. Until one more account will be do matter. I'm not saying they are right, but they are causing the whole thing for themselves.
All right, Mr. Wilson. Okay, Angela.
Yes.
Yeah. With regards to African Americans, many relocation to Hani Adiano, like, do you have any problem with it, or you think it's cool? But to me, I feel like Mr. Peter, I'm about to me too. Because to me, I feel say in a way maybe they are. Mr. Peter, I'm about to meet you. Why?
No, me too. I've done that already. Rush. I've done it.
It's still sounding. Thank you. So I feel say once with money say no, they can say ka any slavery ka they are also here with us. Probably have their land, have one like and all that, but because of slavery, so if they are asked to come or they are re-invited to come back to the motherland, he doesn't see anything wrong with that because a ban example because forefathers stay her ka ende ka me boasting of almost some assassini but all has been stripped away from them. So don't you think in a way they also deserve to be mingling with us, be part of us, relocate here and all that?
Black Americans, or African Americans, in idiot. To be honest with you, it was a good thing. So, your mom kwan say breathy because I would kwan a na osha ne abrofo na they are not happy at all. Nti da bia the frustrations ne ba yen Africans ne say yen e beton omo. Emma abrofo no na omo bebre na yen enjoy the omo nananom ebebre ye no. Nti no me feel say catch omo say omo mrefi a I mean it's a good idea because so we comparisons na o compare Black Americans to Nigerians there any Black Americans and can because woman buy and on say if you any majority came and cry. So they remembered our ancestors and it's annual man. And to him say and ya pet on de begu baby or and then the abrofon so fa and yet bibia and for my shades. It seems like aka medal nti omo rate me ho so what I say nti for them to come home ne there me for say it's not a bad thing so na momo no enam say omo so abetena baby na ebi ho a ebi abrabo no enye papa no when na gina security anka ye wo e wo kronim e was say before na say empanyimfo no beka say omo ECOWAS say no obi atimi ba no e was say ohun say wo kro no security ne ye tight adwuma wo kronim so what you say and then obi ba wonye ni papa and no say security ne ye tight ne ebe hu no ama ebi ase was ye deport no ana say emra no ani ni di but ye kro no aye free country or fa car na so wo ba eno ano no ti share Nigeria bus aduomo ba aduomo ko so ho eno ma ye choke e wo kronim Nti no me for say Black Americans ne de nka enya hwe se wa ho because say na wo ka no o ma se nneoma bebre awerɛhoɔ nko a na mo de nam wo ba krom ha o mo ni amtie ba akokra e wo mo life mu nti sanka ye tumi a build Africa yie ene o mo ba enjoy bi a nka nya hwe aho ena o mo so ade ba ko ade bia no me ni o mo ko wa ha ne se mo se ye na e beton mo okay sisi ano nyame adom Modoso America hapa mubetimi aka muti abom na mabeye bibi ewo Ghana onto na ba ya no no mo hwehwe se kro na ye te se US ana se no sa me se Germany UK ne sa anema no na ka o mabetena me no mo relax so what you say o mo ba no mo hu se enkofo dwonso wa bonten adenti no mantimi aka muti amom no manyo ma dwonso o mo be solve sa problem na free ho no mo se wa ho enti de o mo na ba with sika bi a omo benya na omo business bi a omo beye so wo ho enti awasa ye ne Ghana ne ye de ane ne de na isi from ne ka say hey awasa ye ye kro ne ye so ono de oba no be visit no so obetene mu a your friend say emra bi wo ho a awasa odi so what you say aha enti me for say allowing Black Americans coming to our country no wasn't a bad mistake I mean a bad thing to do so wo ho na emomo no omo ti Africa ho na omo wo mu kro tim bibi ti say Nigerians na omo wo mu kro tim omo land so na se omo ntimi ama peace ama omo kro na se omo si omo beba yen ye krom omo ba yen so omo ma peace ma na emomo mba be kunkum yen aye ye nneoma a esa be se kro no ye mpanyimfo na hwe na ye menwanwa because sa university lecturer ba bonten well he said it all the omo pass omo ye Ghana ni nyina da bonten nti adenti na o start etwetwe tire eye yahu yetime kwada ba akom na nipa Nigerians youth bet 500 so ho and the omo ye ni nyina so no show Ghana system nti edimpa na ye wo no a ye da ho no ebe kakra na ye ni dimpa ne biem obi emu ye biem so what you say nti ye mpanimfo na waso omo hwe na omo ye bibi efa saa de na ho Nigerians no omo wo mu kro so wase omo nyina akwa yen deport woman no monko so what I say because they are not ready to abide yen your rules the regulations I wa Ghana ho and then take Ghana serious mu yen so what I say nti yet na what ma mu yen na me so esa ba be say ye kro no esa ya omba form bag no moko so we hu nti me first Black American there so wo sika bi kra na o de beba be bibi wo kro ni mu ama enkwala enya bi ayeden aye na say me hu girl bi a odi ye kente no odi ye school bags backpack na woye ne bebre na nkofo betu odi bi ma your friend is saying delivery no mo de ko ni nyina wotua wo moka enya bad so what you say at least no enkwala ba 10 na say 15 there we recruit wo mo sa ni business takana oye ni mu enti those people need
Or Black American.
ai oya Black American so ho aso ye kente no ye kente na wa Ghana no no de yes bags no no ton so ho and we recruit to Ghana and kwara ne bebre ewom which is not bad Nigerians yi ba de na omo ye wa Ghana ho ekunkum no mu kunkum ye future leaders so ho and na omo di yen sik omo kum wa omo nya sika na no omo de ko sa Igbo king ya wesipi a na yiri me mpasa me kan sem bebre mami unti na no kra kasada so ati as wo yusu ma me no be hu na yiri kra si e ho no mo na wode ekuro no na wode omu twetwe tire na omu de koyi omu kuro ye so wo ho nti awasa ya mpani mfo ni mom de Nigeria for ene for na wasa ya hwe na ekwan ya befa so omu bekọ no omu bekọ na Black Americans ne de me for say omo ba kakra bitimi eye business kakra etimi support Ghana youth nti omo de nkanya ba yeah
Thank you. Mr. Wilson.
Yes, okay. Black Americans, the year of return.
Hello, Mr. Wilson.
I'm saying a kasa ne ko
Let me see.
Okay.
It's on ka.
Me say the year of return, I ordered that. Na I Liberia. Liberia for na start here. Na American for
Oh, I'm saying the network Okay, Mr. Santi. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so waba back.
Okay,
Dr. Awase Kasa, so waba back.
hello, Mutimika.
Yeah, it's on.
Na me say the year of return no. Na exit to Africa dada. Liberia for na start here. Na American for be Liberia. But they did nothing better to save the economy of Liberia. Rather, no, as the population grew, no, they turn around to colonize Liberia, the natives. Onuna or day, 1980, Kun Edibaya do Samodo about power. Na later part, no, Ghana government, existing president, you know.
Oh, not too bad. Okay.
Line, yes.
Ghana Bampacho.
Okay.
I said what's that?
I'm so Asan back.
Hello.
I saw network how
Network, no, yes, network is stable. When the government of Ghana
Okay. Mpacho,
Okay. I was na yine hano. Well, na yine hano. Well, say when you say compare alatafo no omusuban any aggressiveness ne kunkum no dia any nka say if you ask me to choose I will choose black Americans no. But all the same no so no almost so young almost no they've been pulling guns here and there on Ghanaians and disrespecting some of them. Ebinom say omo ba Ghana na ye de nsa na didi that kind of things na aba Angie can say you see a Johnson kwa ho ne. You shouldn't come to see say if you shouldn't come you should not look at Ghana through American glasses or through Jamaican glasses or through UK glasses. So Ghana is a developing country. Na no do sa time no and as a stage now aduno. And when you come there now, so who say a country developing we will have our challenges. But mostly no. So if you look at them, even the middle class Americans, they are not even coming there. They come there on holidays, okay, which is fine. We all go on holidays somewhere, which is fine. But some of these people who are coming are people who don't actually have not much to do. So with that kind of hustling, well, a few of them has opened businesses here and there near. But look at this encroachment on our culture. So Rasta no ne me personally need there me one more any argument there even UK when I'm in UK. The other day I was telling one Jamaican guy, say, look, you guys you don't understand this and person now more for say a dreadlocks and I started teaching her how it came about. Make and say, look, West Africa is a very popular thing there. It doesn't mean anything. So name say, baho now mesua culture no and live with it. Now we are doing say wo no ba na wa ba bekyere yen kwara sam anwe no mu ne ho nkɔnba ne ade I feel say it's better you don't come. Now let's compare these white Europeans and then even the Americans themselves when they come to Ghana. They come there, they learn our language. You see some of them even trying to work and even the Chinese. They want to be part of us and know us. So it's not a situation where you see them coming there to come and colonize you. Well, they colonize us. But when you learn the person now, then you will be able to also impart some of your knowledge to them. Now, Nigeria for way no more there, one more there, one they shouldn't even be in Ghana because they have their land. They have where to stay. And we cannot accept them because we are not one with them. Nigeria for you nipa be ain't meaning one month and any month or because one more attitude nipa kunkum no enye one more thing. Say Nigeria ni twenty kan akum obi no enye den ma no. Na face so share ye street is to say see say street so aye. The street is choked with Nigerians who are begging. Normal circumstances, Ghana for your culture is not part of our culture to beg. So, well, Tamanamico school Accra, near the Ofa Circle, any old Parliament House area mohona. Sometimes we be no more than Nkrofobi Finima, no one do one about norm than Tuma as a form na one is even come corona. One Ghanaians, they are either from Mali or Burkina. So I'm saying United and I say Niger. But now no, it has become common practice on our streets. I just say everybody is begging, they are all begging. Then look at the crime rate in the country. Prostitution. Nigeria for any Nipa woman, the whole of Africa, no. Prostitution, no number one. Italy will be so be a watna Italy that woman to traffic in this human is business to them. Nigeria ni ban or catch us, Nigeria ni ba catch us or ye business for Europe. Ni the say or den enquara and I mayo aba Europe number be ashawo and a woman ayeden woman anyo musika. It's nothing new to them. And you know say me who say woman bloggers ni bi can so na and Crawford din maybe abagana no more yet. I tell them say look, you guys, that is your business. That is how you make money. Either you traffic human beings, or you traffic in organ harvesting, or this ritual and other things, or in armed robbery. Mentioning Nigeria is armed robbery, is prostitution, is ritual this ritual murdering is ritualist. No, it has become one of their national. Part of their social life. Ubi to say Wole Soyinka was and then he introduced it in their
it was there.
They introduced it in their universities. And to me, who say one more because it's part of their life. That is how they were trained to be. And so we cannot live with Nigerians in our country. They should go. And I don't see the reason why I can say ECOWAS. So because of ECOWAS, should we be killed? And one thing I hear Ghana for is whether he's coming from America or he's coming from Jamaica or he's coming from Nigeria. To me, it doesn't change anything. I don't want anybody in my country. One, Ghana government, they introduce family planning. I'm saying busier time and this I didn't buy. Now I was about a year or two. They made campaign say Ghana for ever accepted family planning, and they accepted it. Our mothers, our aunts, our fathers, our they accepted this family planning thing. Now that we've been able to control the population in some way, our leaders say we should allow Black Americans, Nigerians to come and replenish our population, to come and encroach on us, to come and drive us from our land. This is wrong. Why should we allow this to go on? We shouldn't do that. So, my say in your family planning, they assume near Timia control, near where assassin, your resources near Timmy FSU. Well, we can't, I wouldn't say Ghana, heaven or paradise. No, far from that. We are still developing. But at least we have our peace, even if we are poor. If we have been able to get these things now, should we now turn around to go and ask some people to come and fill our population for us? Yeah. This is not fair to Ghanaians. It is not fair to Ghanaians.
We can't accept it. Yeah.
Yes, we cannot accept it.
Obi Subeka said, then if you don't want anybody in your country, then mind you, Ghanaians also goes to other people's country to live over there, and all
But they
that.
have their rules. They have their rules there. They take those people they want. They have regulation. You can't just go and sit there or go and stay there. Before UK here, they gave me the permission to come before I came with the right papers. Okay, so all comes down to the ECOWAS. Okay, we are everywhere, but we don't have our way. We follow their regulations. You see what I mean? We follow the law and we follow the regulations. Nigerians are not following any regulations in Ghana, so we don't need them. You see, and see, me Angie, Sani, people now work as a young woman, a form organization. And you ever submit petition over petition over. Yame Buani do Ghana, Ubehundi ABC. You ever can't get Kenya, you submit petition and a account commentary. Sanity. Sort I say. Look, adeɛ baako a ɛwɔ sɛ muhu kakra mesrɛ mu ɛne sɛ ɛduru ma bi a na ɛnoma bi wɔ a yɛmfa yɛ adwene nkɔ hɔ biribiara play part. Now you have to know where you belong. Violence a yɛka violence. Nelson Mandela ANC for ɛne Jonas Savimbi of Namibia and Angola, those people they play diplomacy, those people, and they have their military wing. And Tigana, no, yeah, we are playing the diplomacy. Those people who are insulted, I'm not saying, look, I'm telling you that everything counts in some small way. So know where you belong to. But they won't come and tell you. I'm not saying they should insult them. So we are here to play the diplomacy, and we shall continue this. I've said this until we are cheating. If I'm alive, I'm not going to sit down. And with the help of our platform, we are going to go because we are saying the truth. We are speaking the truth. Those people who are in Ghana and they don't think about all this, we are going to open their eyes. We are going to open them. We are going to open their brains to know what is things that are at stake in our lives. Such as here, they are thinking of coming to overseas. They don't know that we in overseas want to even come home, but because the conditions are not good, that's why we are still here. And Obia play the part. Ghana for my platform is so. And may play diplomacy. They also play their small part. I condemn King Jonas. And so I know crying today, and then who say Ghana or he be a praise King Jonas because he said something right. And I'm saying who is a prominent person in Ghana or praise or he did because he said something right. Until Obia play the part until changes are achieved. But I can assure you, say, in some way, I can hear I hope we are saying Ghana. You better tell me, young carbon, they defend your country. Can't you my home with your country? Now, some Obia play the part.
You see, there was a Ghana, yes, there was a Ghana, yes, sir. Omo dada ya che. Nti sisi anu ni pakoro oba. Ade we na wo so obeye. Ade no betena so wantimi anye. 4 years no kra so anse se ma nipa ne tena so bi ma wo se citizens no kɔ ne ekɔ kukuru ni si form by force.
Any
ma ye ni eye den. Na make say insult there and solve problems ma yen. Na emom na was say
we are not insulting. Don't insulting.
Nipa no ade na omo ba da bia omo ma promises no ye omo ntimi fulfill omo promises no nti no
we are not insulting.
O ba na say o betena so a o betu bie mu a o party ne kwara nsa se atoma sa party ne biem e was say ka kire wo say sa de we am solve ye no so we solve ye the whole country no vote be anywhere was obi akọ vote ma obi a say what I say ade a was say dey nice for my ye no because o ma dwen say omo take here for granted na enye adwuma bi because almost
the thing is you don't have control over every Ghanaian. That's something you have to know. You see what I mean?
Majority carries the vote. See, I want Ghana. Omo say yeah Russia yeah. Men down for form friend me catch me say yeah where the money mo hu oni dey ya no dwemo where the yesre mo area yete kura yintimi upia watch 7 I was better Nigeria for kum ye oh so kaka omo ya see the NC for ma ye benya nkofo bebre asoport ye So woman ya sabi amaya for tuma obia.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah. Pacho, when they ask now what network ne how unti what back and Pacho. Now, hand
na network no disturb it because na me competency so me other things is into my cocoa dintum but my network be stable. The first thing the year of return no the year na me ka say it's not a new thing for Ghana because I had na as a tool Liberia.
Yeah. I said the network is still remember Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter Mpacho, so we are final where I made the chat work between the Chinese almost saying you Oshe insuno area with the level of contamination now.
Yeah.
It will end up destroying a whole lot of Ghanaian kids' life. Yeah. So when you compare that to that of the African Americans, the Nigerians, all that other countries, actually, we my feedback. Let me meet Muhammad. Mr. Wilson. Angie. But you wait me mute Muhammad now. Obi home my feedback. Hello, Pacha Matemenka.
Kasa, tonka first na nyekra.
So, Mr. Peter, all these nationals now, yeah, concentrating more and now in focus on more Nigerians no. But now Obi so can say by the works of the Chinese now. And also any small number of people na science almost everybody in the country. So their point is that one is even a huge threat than that of the Nigerians. Why say concentrate and stressing on the Nigerians more and saying the Chinese and the other nationals. Temperature will become found. Hello, Mr. Peter. Mr. Wilson, what's the maker? Hello?
I'm saying Peter, what me too, Peter.
Hello.
Okay,
tonka.
Contribution to me, I can Nigeria and Chinese phone and say a whole Bakuma in part in a year. But these Nigerians, it's an open secret. They are destroying our nation. With the Chinese, they are destroying our water bodies. But a human life is more important Nti idea nsuo no is yasɛ no is killing slowly, but Nigerians no they are killing physically. On na touching nkɔfo akumama Zambia no they are concentrating more on the Nigerians. When they are gone, we come after the we see one at a time. One day we get rid of them. We get rid of them. We come with the water bodies. We also talk about the water, and the population will talk about the water, so that they will do something about it. But yeah, public every day to day affect life. Nigerians are kunimpa, sakawa, stealing, populating one room. It's not even health-wise. It's not good. Say 10, 20 people. You better fill just one room. It's a public disease. Public health rules. It's against it. Until now, the majority of the people they are after Nigerians. Nigerians are there. Chinese are there. But Nigerians, they have outnumbered the Chinese. Until first, we get those overpopulated people, we get rid of them. After we come after the Chinese, after we look after our water body.
Okay. So you see, you prioritize the influx of Nigerians
over the Chinese and the water.
Mr. Santi Mpacho, also then now, what's your take on that?
Okay, well, China we've been with Chinese people for so long. Now, I grew up in Tama, so these Chinese and the Koreans, I know them very well. These Chinese, they have Woma Bibi in Yuma. If you want to compare Nigerian businesses with Chinese businesses, you realize that Chinese businesses are even more than what Nigerians are doing. And then, more or less, we are able to control the Chinese more than the Nigerians. Quite recently, who said China you manufacture mattress, go closing it down. And last week was a Bibisa. Now we have fishing companies like Afco Fisheries. I'm saying North Korea also Chinese. I was in Tama when they came to Tama, and then they opened this. Rash, Tama, you should know this. Afco Fisheries. I don't know whether they are still there. Now I'm more community 10. I want to know more in terms of North Korea also Chinese. And then we have GTMC. GTMC, they were into textiles. Japan textiles and Chinese for we've been with this Anatama TTL, and also we've been with this Chinese for so long. Now these Chinese people, they are not killing us, even though some of them are engaged in this galamsey business, and even some of the Nigerians are also engaged in the galamsey business. And so these people, they are not killing us. Chinese people are not killing us. It's easy to see the activities of the Chinese than to see what the Nigerians are doing. These Nigerians, and Chinese, both of them, are importing fake products into the country. First, not Chinese for almost electrical wires in Hong Kong, but Kotobina de Yodaya, Obehuane Ija Ato Udanim. And a man for complaining, and I'm saying standard board was for they sat up and then they solved that problem. I don't know whether it still exists, but late 90s, and this is what was happening in Ghana. But these Nigerians, they are importing fake products into the country, and we should be very much worried about what the Nigerians are doing. The Chinese, we can easily control them. And if we look at the number of Chinese engaged in this now, percentage is very, very minimal. The percentage is very, very minimal. Most of these galamsey businesses, is done by Ghanaians themselves, with our politicians, with the blessing from our politicians. Now, Nigeria for some, people don't understand it, but a very big problem in Ghana. I didn't make that. Sir, how do you be now? Guy be our so ye Ibonino, a bre one. If you listen carefully to that audio, you really see the reason why these Igbos they are pouring into our country. The reason being that Biafra War, which happened somewhere in 69 or 68 or something like that, the Igbo people didn't win the war. I'm now saying this, everybody should be very, very attentive and listen. And those who are listening to us should also pay attention to what I'm saying. The Biafra War, no, they did not win the Biafra War, but they still have intention of getting this Biafra independence. Igbo for no. Now they are in talks with other international bodies and some countries where I have realized or I have heard say when they strike, they will get support from them. Now, where will they stay and then launch attack on Nigeria? They cannot stay in Niger because Niger, part of Niger are houses. And a part of Nigeria is also a Hausa for. And the Niger people will not give them that chance. Now, when we come to Benin also, half of them, some of them are Yorubas. They speak Yoruba language. And then we have Yoruba people also in Nigeria, Lagos. So Benin people will not give them that chance. And so where do they want to stay? They want to stay in Ghana because a honor and a Oma who say, cheap. And this man, these Igbo people, they are bringing their people there daily, day in, day out. They want to establish their school there, use their language to train their children so that they will go and fight their Biafra war, their dirty war from Ghana. And so if we Ghanaians, we don't take care, I'm saying this and I'll say it again, that if we Ghanaians, if we don't take care, we shall be caught in a war with this Igbo people and the Nigeria people, which we cannot afford. We cannot afford to allow this to go on. And you're very careful with these Nigerians. Apart from with their ritual murdering, prostitution, armed robbery, and all that, their ultimate agenda is to train their children as terrorists on our soil to go and launch an attack in Nigeria. And this will happen in a not too distant future from now. I rest my case.
Okay, Angie.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you also think? Say ocean Chinese for no? Because in so way, and any probably serve the whole nation. It's what you also think with comparing that to Wakanda for
Yeah, sana yun na onsa yesu sana e wo fie no. E wo say Lebanese money Chinese money sanwema no omo de omo wo krani mu ache. But say yehwe yensuo na Chinese for say na me no memfa bre mo ma Chinese for ni bebre efise ono ti ni krom a wo ba Ghana no na onim baabi a e wo so wokọ kohu sa ha na gold wo nti wo so wokọ say efom ho e yankasa na direct wo mo e no mo call e no mo say yensuo so ho but wo mo no won fa tuo megina wo so meku sa ne Nigerians no eye no nti no me feel say to stop them for doing this no so easy for us so ho eno ane say yempanyimfo no na meka no say 16 regions na ye won ya hemfo no they should come omo enfa omo timbom na omo nyiyi manso ye kan sa manso ne ka no omo nyiyi manso na deda wo mo ntam no emfi ho na omo kamom no omo nya baako na omo hu se Ghana one nti se Greater Accra enya problem the whole Ghana enya se Ebron Ahafo region enya problem the whole Ghana the same thing Ashanti the same thing Ekwawu me for Ghana no nyina ya baako because Kwawufo Ashantifo Fantefo, woman na ye chief for ya. So, but woman tribalism na yo de. Enti no se obi free ha no ya shanti na wo ye nneoma na nya kwawuni ni right se obeka. Ena kwawuni ye bibi na nya ashanti ni right se obeka. Ena ga ena we ena woma to apetim nti ohene bia te ne krom a wofo se wono nko ani krom ho no ho pe na wose wo ye den wodi ne hene ne ko dabi wase omu nyina ka bom no mo ye baako so omu ka bom no mo ye baako a sa Chinese fo nneoma a omo ye no eya ade ketewa bi se ombetimi asolve ama bibia ye kama se wo na ye ba ye nkofo ye a Nigeria fo ye a eno de bibia ni hwa ye betumi asolve dance ye be ma o maka omu krom because omo wo omu krom enye so omo free baby a omu ni baby te ena ye gi wo mo they have their own country ye ko ho oma me yant na ho omo ma ye 2 weeks so ye ma me na ye papa na enuan mo free kronim na nkwala nketenkete wo mo wo hwe video na nkwala wo man consider nkwala ni mpo wo mo anu omonyem pregnancy women anu omonyem pregnant women anu omonyem ho wo mo nyina ye pam wo mo wa wo bewu nu wawu wa enwu no beba kroma no abedu so ho adenti na ye ma wo mo kwan ama mo mo asan ba ye krom ha asan ba detect ama yen wahu omo ba nso anya se omo bra omo ho ase na omo ne yatena omo kunkum nkofo omo ye yaho prostitution enuoma ebese ye future leaders nko a no mo de abakrom ho so ati ase enti no kwaka na Igbo king se hwan no abegina wo se bad nuts ne de ewo baby a okay bad nuts ne yanka se Ghana ye 100%. So bad nut atena wo krom na so avo bad nut enti na ye nso no so mo behwe a Ghana obi ye bone a ye de ne ba social media na ya den na ya ba be treat nipa nanim because why ye mpese bad nut be fry mu enti sa wo bad nut ada na wontena wo krom so ba ho enti sa wo hwe sa nipa we a ye betimi na tena obi a ne nkofo ye bone a wo ka no wo support ne nkofo ebe ye ejuma entimi nye ejuma sa enti na wa se Nigeria for ne de obi akọ ne krom omo wo mu krom because me I don't understand say one country your friend is saying 2 tribes are omonka ni agi wo mu mienu nyina we krom ho ahu ebe ye dan na kina wo mu mienu kro omo mekoso ntokwa e wo kronim se wo ho enti no say Yoruba people no so omo tie ye program bi dia so matimi apamo yes omo pamo Igbofo every Lagos dia omo starting pack omo bag in free Ghana because yenso yentimi ni omo ntena na omo enkwankwa tena omo Lagos Igbofo na omo pamo omo na he no omo nko omo nya Nigeria for so ati ase na wo pamo wankasa wunua ma free ukrom na wo de aba baji obi ekuro atenem abeka kire you say you are Nigerian but Ghana blood is flowing in you in what ways se wa hu enti sa nkofo mienu ni nyina omo tie mi a omo starting pack omo bag no mo free kronim ye ne omo ni asem ye hia omo developing bia we kronim no ma beka se ye boa wo omo no afedi omo se omo no omo build your country ama yen se country Ghana asaya enko mbeba ho enko mo mba se wa hu ma betena wasesa mo ma wo bebre na masesa wo ma begu ho e na mo gi ye benefit na ye ma me ne ye papa no mu dwa nyina ma oje so ahu etisisi ayenya dan Igbo king abetena ho e de nsa e bo nsa ye mo pa ya chew se ye ma ne nkofo na dwuma ne benye enso wo hu se ne nkofo ne ba abonten a omo so omo no omo build Ghana adenti no ntimi megina ho no nka no kre emfa nkire wo mo enti e kina so omo ye bibi ne ese omo nkwa omo ba ye te se ye ne South Africa yenso ye mpentokwa enti sabre ya omo mfa omo sika bia anye business en support economy omo de omo pake omo sika no mo fanko because Chinese for there yeah him for no cry ready no come mutibuma me sure say omo betimi asolve sa case no ama na free ho I know the enko fantokwa bia ema but sankofo we there yentimi ni omo ntena Ghana ho ntimi de meka no.
Okay. Well, I think for now we are like 2 hours 30 minutes. No. So I would like everybody to give their final remarks, and then I'm calling a day, and then maybe the next time we continue. So Mr. Santi, if you can give your final,
Okay. Yo, that's so my platform here yet me abe and some kakra I was I believe say yenuanom kakra kakra omobaba na omaba biti. One, yeah, the certificate and penny for disrespect one money, you did matter. It will insult doesn't solve problem. It has never solved any problem. And you for no, as I said, you abutre na yehu kwanya yebefa so any leaders no ebekasa. There are so many ways to kill a cat. Yemo modern na yenya abutre na ye papa ne womo, ye maame ne womo, and a womo ye leaders. And I so ye elders. Bible can say you should know, or catch the Timothy, Paul catch the Timothy say you should know how to address an elderly person as an elderly person, as a widower as a widower. So and the see who paya say a faso na the address one. These things were not there. Mamu ni social media chi na obi ma megina so bu okra na wafa phone na odidi obi atem na ne ba eda ne na so na akwara na isu na odi akwara na akoto kete so na wasan aso atenidio. So abrofo wa be some researchers be psychologists be almost say if be imprinting no ye where maybe aboa wawo aboa the first few minutes whatever comes before akwara no na say say na I stick it to the mind uba down na so na wudidi obi atem no what are you imparting to your child on your laps, which is wrong. Yehu kwan a ebefa so any leaders no ebe nante. And our second point no so the influx of this immigrants into our country. Look, Ghana no your population is 200 and not the your population per square kilometer no Ghana's square area no 268,000 and something square kilometers. Your population is about 32 million. Or the infant is at 35 million. Yeah, moment check Google. So you divide the land, to 35 million Ghanaians. You move benya 6.8 square meters. Square meters and not square kilometers. 6.8 square meters, which is even too small. Now, here is the case where we have a whole lot of people. Now we have 50 million Nigerians in our country. Then we have these Black Americans or this, how do you call it, African Americans also coming in. A time will come on, we won't even have a place to live anymore. We won't even have a place to farm. Do we have to live on our soil and then import cocoyam, plantain, and pepper and that type of thing from Burkina Faso? It's not going to say, it's not fair to us. And it is also not fair to us, government, Ghana for family planning. Then you allow people who are overpopulated in their country to come and fill our population for us. Is it fair? It's not fair. So, and last year with the Chinese, we can deal with them. These Chinese people, Ghana phone be and a leading woman galam say name if I almost sorry, no can say massas mimpe some of say means they don't have any place to go, they will leave. And with the Chinese, we can deal with them. And we have been with the Chinese for so long. GTMC, any Chinese phone established here. Even our pens here near the church of Bake near the any Chinese for and they established. I know the man very well because of Ekponi. And with this Chinese new businesses near there, TTL, any Japan, Texas. The Chinese people, they were all there. Akosombo, So, we've been with these Chinese for so long, and they are not killing anybody for rituals. The Chinese are not killing people. They are not engaged in armed robbery. And Nigerians, they are engaged in this. And I will say it again, say, if we don't rise up and do something, the next 4 years elections now, this Igbo king will tilt the election in his favor. Government will be this, say MPP will be this, now offer say, or yeah, the next election, this man will make sure say the next party no pen and be winning. He will decide the elections for us. So are we Ghanaians going to stay on our own land and let somebody come and control us? No, we can't do that. And let's find a means to drive these people away from us, these Nigerians away from our land. They should go. They have their places to stay. They have Nigeria, which is about 4 times bigger than Ghana. Why should they be coming to our land, to our country in masses, in millions? We can't accommodate them. And so this is my final take on what we have so discussed. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah. If you can please give us your final remarks and then.
Yeah. My final wrap up is just a follow up of what Brother Isaac just said. But I will appeal to the youth to learn how to respect elders and politicians, because no matter how it is, they are our leaders. Whatever they say, they convert into a law at the assembly, at the parliament, and make it a law for us to respect it. So they should respect our politicians and leaders. If your father is a thief, you cannot say it in public that, oh, my father is a thief. So we should know how to deal with our leaders. Secondly, with the Nigerians, not in immigrant, but specifically with Nigerians, they must go. It's not a retaliation to what they did in the 80s. No, they are, overpopulating our country. Our country is too small for us to welcome them. They are not our enemies, and we cannot say we are retaliating what they did. It's not about retaliation. It's about we cannot hold them in our country. We don't have enough space for them. So if I intentionally speak English so that whoever is a Nigerian listening will know that in the future we are coming to come after them. Even if you don't want us to come after you, you start preparing your baggage or luggage or whatever you have, a piece of cloth, you start to save money to go back. Because when we rise, it will be very dangerous. It will be more than what they did to our people. And I mind all Nigerians, I repeat, it's not about retaliation. We don't have enough room to keep them. That's why we want them out of Ghana. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Madam Angie.
Yeah, the mechanism, I believe, sir, this platform, we are able to share, teach you know, about youth,
viewers, one share na more like na right?
Especially youth, no Ghana youth, ne, me find it's a Ghana citizens, yeah. So no, it's not about an insult in yeah, this year no, it's about how what we can do. So na sorry, I'm ready na wasi yenhyehyɛ ma mpanimfo na yɛnyɛ ne ntɛntɛntɛm na yɛnhyehyɛ ɛmfa ma wɔ mo wobɛdi so na ɛfo sɛ ɛnyɛ ade a ɛbɛboa yɛ a wanhwɛ a wundi 1 year 2 years koraa ɛna yɛ impeach simple na wapɔ baabi afa yɛmpa atam didie bia ɛne obi ani atam didie nti youth no obi ɛngyae mpanyimfoɔ no atam na yɛdidi wɔ mo no ɛnyɛ respect ɛma yɛnyini nkyɛ sɛ wate aseɛ na enjoy your life nti na obi enjoy sɛ ne yɛdidi mpanimfo atam obi tumi bɛtena na odi asantehene atam na nagyema bɛdu ne yɛ mpanyimfo no ɛnyɛ fɛ ɛnyɛ kraa ɛnyɛ nti ɔmo ngyae ɛna yɛfrɛ ne sɛ deɛ mɛka bie mo nso ne sɛ yɛ mpanimfo no yɛsrɛ ɔmo a obi a yɛbɛhyɛ bɛduru ne hɔ no ɔmo ntie yɛ voice na ɔmo nka mom na ọmụma ọdọntra ọmụ ntem na ọmụ emfa ye kuro ne mma ahọhọ sɛnea yɛn nananom yɛ ne saa nka yɛn sɛ nka ọmụ no nka ọmụ anya baabi antena na ọmụ ndodɔ ọmụ ho na Chinesefoɔ na ɛsɛ yɛ nsuo ma nkɔfoɔ ɛwɔ disable no ọmụ ngyae na yɛntumi enya nsu papa ɛwɔ kuro nim ɛna thirdly no Nigerians no yɛntumi ne ọmụ ntena ọmụ kunkum yɛn ọmụ sɛe yɛ nneɛma ọmụ sɛe Ghana ekuro no ebedumi bi no prestigious countries kuro mpɛ sɛ ọmụ bɛ invest wɔ kuro no mu ma ekuro no tu mpɔ no ɔte sɛ Ghana yɛtwitwa tire ne saa nneɛma kidnapping ne nneɛma na ɛkɔ so a ọmụ mma sɛ wate aseɛ nti sɛ mpanimfoɔ no anhwɛ na ɔmo adrɛse wei a ebeduru mmiri bi no ekuro no sɛnea nkɔfoɔ respect kuro no wodu baabi wobɔ wo din sɛ wofi Ghana o respect yɛ different ebedu baabi yɛnnya ne saa sɛ wate aseɛ nti ɛnɛ no yɛda mo nyinaa mase Rush nso yɛda wase sɛ watumi acreate platform bi ma ɛnɛ yɛn nso yɛkasa na menim sɛ nkakra no Ghanafoɔ no nyinaa nso ɛbɛte na nea ɛwɔ sɛ yɛyɛ no yɛtumi ayɛ na aboa Ghana. We are fighting for our future leaders. That's it.
Thank you very much. And me do be as say obianya time ultimately showing up participating in the program. So Mr. Wilson, thank you very much.
Well, you don't have to mention.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Santi. Thank
Anytime.
you, sweet Angie.
Okay,
Anytime.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr. Peter, and all that. Everybody, Amagana, and every viewer out there should go check out Amagana's content and subscribe to Amagana's, channel, share and like, her videos and all that. So.
I think the line is off.
Okay.